Ladies and gentlemen, for the last time this evening, welcome back once again to SI 2020. We are moving forward into our last elimination match of the day. We have unfortunately already sent 3 teams home from these 4 groups, and now it is time to send the 4th home from the 4th group. My name is Blue. Joining me here on the desk, as always, is going to be Stokes. And Stokes, what do we have in front of us here for our final match of the evening?
It's going to be Liquids versus Giants, my friend. It should be overall pretty exciting. I'm definitely excited to get down into this one, especially with Giants coming off of kind of a rough start to the tournament. But let's get that bracket up so you guys can see exactly how we got here.
Taking a look at the overall bracket itself, we saw the opening matches go between MIBR and Giants, where MIBR was able to take control of that series and move forward, putting Giants in their current position. The same can be said for Team Liquid as they took on NIP yesterday. An incredibly close-fought affair between 2 teams, but ultimately NIP was able to come together just a little bit more as a full roster and secure themselves that 3rd map to send them on into their winners match, which is going to be played over on the main channel if you're interested in viewing that game between MIBR and NIP. Here, however, we have the story of Giants going up against Team Liquid. Only one can move forward. One team's journey must stop here, unfortunately for them. And we're going to find out who that is within just a few hours.
Yeah, it seemed like Group C was really just like the Brazilian Hunger Games. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only way. At least one Brazilian team is going to get knocked out. And that's the rough thing about this. No matter what we have, one team that is Brazilian will be knocked out of Group C. But the Giants could be the first one out of the group, so it could be a guarantee that you're going to have 2 Brazilians make it out as well.
Yep, and that's looking incredibly likely given the statistics we have leading up for these teams, but that does not necessarily tell the full story, as this has been a very interesting match and 2 very interesting teams to watch. So let's go ahead and see what they thought of yesterday's matches and, of course, their thoughts leading up to today's encounter.
My name is Adenauer Jachman Gauglitz of Varenga, or my nickname is Silence, and I'm the head coach for Team Liquid.
I'm Luna Metal. I'm the captain of Giants Gaming.
Well, I think we just had the game in our hands, but you know, the first map was close, the second too, but go to the 3rd map, that was our worst map ever.
We mostly lost the game because of ourselves. Like, we weren't playing our game, and even historically, like, our team has always had a bit of mental issues when it comes to going in the game. So right now we're just trying to reset our mindset and hopefully go in with a better mindset tomorrow. So tomorrow we play against Liquid. They took a game they won the series against NIP. Liquid has always been a very strong team that we've respected for a long time. We've actually taken a look at them and we have doubts when it comes to playing maps, but we'll just do our best. But Liquid is definitely one of the strongest teams, we think, in the world. So we're going to have a huge hurdle if we want to take the series against them.
They're good people, they play very well, so we can't do the same mistakes that we did like that in the past game. So we need to pay attention on the details, you know?
I think to fight against Liquid, we probably have to make them uncomfortable. Like, we probably need to play like a spear, if you understand the metaphor. We need to find the weakness in their attack and then just break through it with one aggressive move.
Like in the past Invitational, we lost in the first match too, and we did to the groups, out the groups. So I think we can do it again. Why not?
Let's have a nice game. You guys, I really respect you guys. But tomorrow we're gonna try our best to put that respect aside and gonna try and beat you.
And there you have it, folks, the thoughts from both teams but as they lead up until this match. Interesting metaphor as well coming out from the Giants roster. They need to be like a spear, one swift blow to take out their opponents.
Well, there's a lot of parts of the body that are plated, but there's always, you know, that soft spot that you got to look for. The
right
Achilles
for the heart.
heel.
Just shove it in there.
That's usually the most plated part, Blue. I don't know if you know how armor works. Usually it's the face, the other
big enough.
region,
You got big enough muscles, you can push through anything. Or something
just
like
Spartacus
that.
it and
yeah, I don't know how Greek mythology works. That was
just stab.
That was like 10th grade. That was a while ago. So
I don't know what you learned in 10th grade.
Oh, you didn't
that
have
was
Greek
like that was like
mythology?
geometry for me.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, talking more about this game, let's take a look at the roster for both of these teams. First off, we're going to start out with Giants. And once again, this is a new team stepping up to the plate. They've only made it to the international stage really once or twice prior to this, so you folks may not be super familiar with the roster. Ysera, who had the best performance coming out of yesterday's matchup, Speakeasy following that up, along with Jordan, Hysterics, and Lunar Metal to round out the roster. Unfortunately, though, while yes, we do have players with the best stats, as you can see, nobody really ending up with a positive KD, nobody ending up with a positive entry ratio either. It was very much struggle city for this team yesterday, much like we had with Wildcard as well in their opening game.
Yeah, very difficult matchup. Within the first couple of rounds, though, it looked like Giants was going to be able to do something against MIBR. But MIBR sooner rather than later took over the entire round, or the entire game, rather, and really punished Giants on every front.
Yeah.
As you said, it really was just that Coastline game, and then it was just the MIBR show.
It was a promising start to the Coastline game as well, winning their initial 2 attacks, but the problem is dropping the next 5 rounds after that, and even when they switched over to the defensive side, never really seeing them able to wake up again as we got closer to the edge of the game. Just too much of a lead going into their opponent's hands. Team Liquid, on the other hand, we have some good stats coming out for these guys, most notably the 2 that shined out in yesterday's match, being those 2 in the front. Nesk and Moringa had great performances. Nesk specifically from the offensive side, doing amazing work, often leading the charge for the team, maybe even acting as a secondary to clean up the trades and make sure the team stays strong in their pushes. And Moringa doing fantastic work from the smoke, consistently picking up kills, mainly with the SMG-11 and playing a lot of close angles off of that, and most importantly, delaying the play from NIP throughout the course of the series.
Yeah, Team Liquid, a roster that's been around for a very long time at its core, but lost one of its core members last year with Zig retiring from Rainbow Six Siege, so they got Moringa to fill in. And what a great person he's been for this team. He's been able to show up on quite a few occasions. Really has been an asset.
Absolutely. And the big question, I think, for Team Liquid going into this matchup is, as even they were saying on the pre-match video, can they fix those mistakes from yesterday? Can they calm down a little bit and come together as a team? A lot of separate play going on from them yesterday that ended up leading to their demise, as they were just not able to get together as a team and execute as what we like to see from a lot more international teams. We've got our head-to-head matchup here as well, coming out between Moringa and Speakeasy. And once again, you can kind of see the difference in the 2 matches that these teams had based on that head-to-head right there.
I think the main thing to point out as well is that Moringa is a support player for Liquid. He's never really on the front lines, but he still makes his presence known. He gets a lot of kills, is able to hold down their flank watch quite well. Speakeasy, on the other hand, on the forefront and not shining out yesterday.
Now, there is one area where Giants actually does have a small statistical advantage over Team Liquid right now, and that's when it comes to the clutch factor, actually, in this matchup. In their game yesterday, both Ysera and Jordan were allowed to get away with 1vx's, where we didn't see any of that come in from Team Liquid in their own games. So there is still a little bit of that kind of X factor that can come into the game, whereas we don't necessarily have that with Liquid right now. However, that doesn't mean it can't show up. We've very much seen it in the past. So you're still going to have to be careful of that if you're on Giants.
I think that the main thing for Giants is that they just need to stay to their own game. Yesterday, it seemed like when they were playing a fast-paced version of Siege, it was really working out for them. Going up against Liquid, that's going to be pretty difficult, though, because Liquid usually really likes to set pace. Let's get into these bans, though. See exactly what we're going to be getting rid of. Consulate knocked out, Cafe removed as well. Rolling around to picks now. We're going to be playing Consulate, John, and Villa. We haven't casted a Villa game just yet, actually.
It's going to be our first time, well, guaranteed Villa match. Anyway.
Yes.
We had, I think, both of our
we had them as deciders.
We had them as our third map, but we just never got there.
We never got there.
Sad.
We're going to have Clubhouse as our decider as well. Excuse me. Liquid getting rid of Border. It's their most banned map, and it's going to continue to stay that way.
Not too surprising that we see Giants allowing Coastline to go through. That was a map that they played into yesterday as well. And that's the map they did pretty well on. Were able to contest their opponents pretty good on that map yesterday, but ultimately fell towards the end, and because of that massive deficit of rounds that happened after they won their initial 2, they just really couldn't come back from. So they're going to allow into the pool. Villa, as you said, going in next. Definitely another map that's going to be pretty strat heavy, but will also allow for a good amount of individual plays for teams, and we all know how Clubhouse ends up going, so that is going to be one that will test, I think, both teams' mettle if we do end up on it.
That is very true. I honestly think that with these first 2 maps that we're rolling around on now, it's looking like Liquid's game to lose. They don't really like Villa. They ban it out quite often. They banned it 11 times within recent history. 2-0-2 record going back through the last 6 months. As opposed to our friends over on the Giants, though. I believe John has those stats for us. Yes, it's going to be 7 bans, but they've won it 4 times. So it's actually looking pretty positive for the Giants. But again, check the last time that Liquid has actually played Villa. The last time that Villa was played was inside a Pro League by them. They played against MIBR and won it 7-2. So we could be getting down for a good old-fashioned brawl.
This could be a good one indeed, folks, and we're just moments away from getting it started. All 10 players are in the lobby ready to rock and roll, so just waiting on the admins to start things up and the players to give their okays to do just that.
You know, the last time that you and I commentated a Villa game with Liquid was them versus Mocket when Sexy Cake had that 1v3 clutch.
In the Esports Awards Play of the Year?
I have no idea who would have casted that. No idea.
Yeah, that was you.
That guy sucks at his job. You should probably fire him, honestly.
That was true, folks. This is what defined the play from Lick. To be fair, it was a little bit, actually, yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit further into the group stage last year.
Yeah, it was the
very
playoffs.
Final match.
Yeah, it was the very final match for them to make it to main stage, and they were the only Brazilian representative last year. I continue to trip over my words, man.
It's like imitating someone. Just look like really like fake angry for a second.
I love Sexy Cake's new haircut. I honestly do.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks great.
Stylish with it.
Yeah.
Because he had the full blue hair last year.
Yeah, yeah, and now he's got the side shape as well. Yeah, it just looks good, man. It just looks good. Yeah. Sexy Cake doing his thing. But no, that is that was the esports play of the year, though, folks. Was right on Villa with Sexy Cake, that man sitting right there in a 1v3 against Mocket. Crazy play. Hopefully we can see something like it again this year. That'd be, honestly, very, very exciting. But Giants versus Liquid going down on Coastline is going to be our very first map between these two, so buckle in, folks. We're more than likely in for a long one.
All right, guys, here we go into our very first map of our final series here, at least as far as the Bravo stream is concerned. Keep in mind that the winner's match for this group is also being played over on the Alpha stream, so if you're interested in that, please go ahead over to twitch.tv/rainbow6, as that's where you'll be able to find that game. Either that, or if you're watching from a PC or a mobile, just go ahead back to the game directory. You should be able to find it pretty easily.
Well, you'd think that.
Yeah, they have more viewers than us anyways. They're gonna be higher on the list.
Oh, Dokkaebi banned from Giants. Very smart. We saw a little
Lion
bit of
as well getting knocked out first.
Yeah,
too.
both of the global info ops removed early. That's going to mean that Jackal's up, as well as a couple of other operators that are very impactful on Coastline, such as Habana and Capital. Echo removed on the defense for the ban from the Giants. Let's see what Team Liquid is thinking.
The attack ban's making a lot of sense. We've been seeing a really large increase in both Lion and Dokkaebi play, specifically on this map to try and track people down. And it's becoming a trend very quickly, so it's started to explain itself as to why teams are trying to ban that out. However, both of the actual distraction ops are going to be banned out here, with Echo and Maestro getting eliminated.
Had very few opportunities to be able to commentate over APAC teams. It makes me very happy that we've had so many representatives.
Them, I don't even know if we casted them, but that was probably at that was Allied Miner, I think, because they were there.
Yeah, Aerowolf was. You and I would have commentated them, yes.
Yeah.
Because I know I have commentated them one time before, and it would more than likely be the Vegas Miner.
Yeah, pretty sure it was the Vegas Miner. So
they played decently well there as well.
That was like 8 months ago, I think.
Yeah, that was quite a while.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
It's quite a while. That's before I wore turtleneck. Parker's converted.
You're slowly turning into a James Bond villain, just like him.
It'll be way worse when I have the glasses.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna be Parker for Halloween.
I'm gonna be Parker for Halloween.
I'm gonna be Parker for Halloween. I'm just gonna show up to Parker's house dressed in full Parker uniform.
There was a kid who showed up to SI last year dressed like Kicks.
Yes. Sadly, he's not gonna be here this year.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, made me very sad.
Very sad. I don't know that kid's name, but wish he could be here.
Yeah, shout out to that kid, right? We love you, that kid. Deployable shields as well as a quad reinforcement inside of pink, as you guys can see to the right-hand side of your screen. Pretty default setup for Liquid. Really the only default panel that they're missing is that one right behind the bomb chassis on B. Other than that, they have rotated those somewhere else. Looks like we have a pretty full-on setup going on here. But it's going to be a east to west take here from Giants. Again, we saw them play Coastline yesterday. They started things off very well, but quickly got turned to the other side of the coin.
Speakeasy working his way forward here is going to put himself on the position up on top of the courtyard from roof side. Try and see if he can catch any rotates early on here. It's going to be Sexy Cake instead, however, that strikes first off screen and is able to take out Hysterics. So Team Liquid starting things out strong. I believe that was a possible run out from the hookah area, potentially coming in there from Sexy Cake in order to find the kill. Either way, it's led to the death of the Twitch.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Oh, big window kill potentially then instead. Could have happened from hookah too, actually. Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, no, it's a punch hole in the double for Billiard, so that was a very nice shot, especially onto Twitch.
One of those two.
Yeah, of all the operators you want to remove very early on, Twitch is definitely one of them. That F2 is super impactful, but obviously it's really only her gun that you're playing her for. You're not counting on a Twitch drone to do too much for your take.
I don't know, man.
On my
I
team.
don't know about your Twitch drone in, but mine.
I've seen your Twitch drone in, sir.
I could sneak that thing in anywhere.
The James Bond of drones.
A drone hero.
You need to be stopped, my man. You need to be stopped. More drones working for Giants, though, as they open up the double window. Lunar's moving quickly, but no, it's back on to drone work here. They have control of Aqua, but there's still a long road ahead of them. They don't have anybody on Hookah Balcony, nobody on the double window. There's so many pieces to this puzzle that they're missing. They are going to torch Pink, though. It's not going to travel too far. Smoke grenades going down, or actually smoke arrows, excuse me, as everyone just peeks across billiards and gets super aggressive. Giants seem to be all over it. Oh, no, but it's Nesk from inside face with a nice flick. Oh, my. That's a way to stop a push.
Man, it was looking so promising as well for Giants. Nesk, though, we were talking about how he had become the player Liquid had to look to get them out of tough situations. And literally right from round one, he's got to do that right again. So great stuff to hold the line from Nesk. And very unfortunate for Giants. Great execute overall. It's always so dangerous when you bunch your players up to that amount just because of how low TTK can be in this game. But they made it work. We're able to get a great amount of control. Just couldn't handle Nesk due to the speed of the play. Players just constantly peeking him to him one by one and giving him those fights to be able to close out on.
That was so intense between these two, especially when they all just started walking. What?
Bring it, bring it, bring it.
It was 6-pick, my man. That's locked in.
I love it.
G2 is smiling somewhere right
I
now.
love it. Let's see it.
You did see that earlier today that G2 pulled out like every Russian operator and played Tachanka, right? We
Like the meta from like 2 years ago or so, right?
Yeah, well,
Or 3 years ago.
that was never a meta, sir.
Oh, okay.
I have played this game since beta. Fuse has never been a meta pick.
Reddit was wrong again. Big surprise.
Ever. If you... Somebody can definitely prove me wrong, but I have never, ever, in my Siege career of playing this game competitively or commentating, have ever seen Fuse be a mainstay operator.
Remember they had Fuse. I think they had all sorts of crazy. There was like a cap can that got pulled out in that game as well.
Yeah, they also played at Tachanka.
Yeah, and won the round.
God himself was played.
And won the round.
Yeah. Hey, if
Against
it wins,
BDS.
If it wins rounds, it works, right?
Yeah, G2 always having fun, of course, right? When they can and looking to try
G2
to
literally
shut down their
said,
enemies.
we're literally just going to play the craziest style of Siege we could possibly find. That's literally what their coaches said. They're like, when we get to Cafe, we're taking offense, banning Maverick, and we're just literally going to pull at every stop and see what happens.
This
and it
event
works.
has to be already one of the most diverse events in terms of operators. Right? There's
love it.
so many operators that normally wouldn't even be considered in.
Finka. A lot of Finka play.
Yeah, a lot of Finka play. This is not the first time Fuse has been brought out. We had a Tachanka play. Capcan's been brought out by
We
multiple
saw
teams.
Blitz by Fnatic when they tried to take blue on Bank.
Really? I
Yeah.
missed that one.
Yeah, there's been a crazy amount of stuff, but Marengo started us off for the round.
I'm pretty sure every operator has been played at least once at this point.
Yeah, I would say so.
The only one we might not have gotten is like a Frost.
Wait, I don't think we've gotten an Amaru.
True. Yeah, we haven't gotten an Amaru
Somebody
yet.
will let us know.
That'll definitely happen. By the
Yeah.
end. By the
Oh
end.
yeah. Somebody's going to repel just randomly to a.
That's not even that crazy in my opinion.
It really isn't. She's not that bad of an operator, to be completely honest with you. A G8A1 especially is such a terrifying weapon. But now, Giants and the rest of their squad working some angles upstairs. They do have control, or most control, of VIP and Guitar, but their main focus right now is trying to get inside a theater. Already has some holes opened up as well as the Twitch of Hysterics rotate towards Aquarium balconies. He's worked his way up now. He's on the double door, pre-fires through off of some hard pings onto PSK. Does a lot of damage, but a little killing. That's about it. So still has to find him to finish him, and PSK is going to peek right into a bullet. Hysterics lets him know about that one through lead instead of words. So slowly ticking down the timer here between these two squads. Liquid just biding their time. Don't have to worry about too much. Giants very slow moving, and they have not done anything with Lunar on this Fuse.
Lunar on the upside down repel, still looking for any option that he might be able to leverage here for himself. Remember, we are against the kitchen defense, so ideally Lunar would want to try and get himself into control of an area like VIP to try and drain fire down onto the site. Like I said, we've yet to really see the overall plan here of trying to utilize the Fuse properly. Hysterics moves in though, gets his second kill in the round, the second overall for the team. And now they'll start to take more crucial control. They've moved in, they've been able to leverage themselves full control of Penthouse, and as an extension of that, they've also got VIP if they want it. Ysera, in the meanwhile, on the Hibana, has jumped back down and is trying to figure out where to work into. Another member of Team Liquid is going to be down, but not killed just yet. Now it's going to be finished off by Jordan. A bit of damage taken on a Lunar, but finally, here we go. Here comes the fuse nades. That's going to send Sexy Cake running into the open, where we will be able to see Ysera pick him off. The fuse play has worked brilliantly. A run out from Paulo, though, does trade the kill back, but the problem is he's now left alone. There's under 10 seconds left, however. All he needs to do is try and delay and stop the defuse plant, but it's not going to happen. Goes onto the ground. A good read to try and stop Hysterics from completing it, but it will not happen, and we see Giants claim round number 2.
Bring fuse, win rounds. Guess that's the trend
thunk?
for today. Who would have thunk it? You hear a massive cluster charge just get plopped down and you think somebody would just shoot it, but that doesn't tend to happen.
Doesn't even get the kill either. Just forces a player out
just
of
moves
position.
him. Well, I mean, that's a good thing the cluster charge for is you kind of have to respect the cluster charge.
Otherwise, you die.
Nothing like explosive hockey pucks. Are you kidding me? That's a 6-pick. There's no way. There's no way.
It's Lunar again.
If there is a check mark, chat.
It's Lunar
I swear
again.
to everything that is holy. See, I knew my boy Lunar had me. He didn't want me to lose all of my sanity. That's good. Just shifted on over to the Monty, though.
We're just going to slowly tread down the path of insanity.
Yeah, well, honestly, Glass doesn't have really anything to provide for this site like Monty does.
Yeah.
Monty, you can just really walk into Sunrise and get a diffuser down if you're so inclined.
Once again, Team Liquid trying to pick up a successful defensive round for themselves here. It's going to be the bars this time that they'll play that defense. Sexy Cake up to play point. An offensive position here more than likely if he's going to be sticking into the bars. We'll see who exactly will play into that in just a second once their prep phase has been completed. Besides that, though, operator lineup being brought to the table here for Giants, besides the Montane, of course, going to be relatively the same as what we've had in the previous round. Still Hysterics bringing the Twitch to the table. Hibana for any hard destruction that may be needed, which, to be fair, it's Coastlines. There usually isn't a lot of that. And then the Buck to deal with any soft destruction needs, and Speakeasy to kind of enter for them. So here we go. They've spawned out onto the board. A little run-out camera there from the Valkyrie, and Sexy Cake is now going to reposition himself. Montane spawns at the very front. So let's see if the push is also going to work its way in through front doorway, or service potentially. Try and slowly leverage control of the building for themselves. They would more than likely want to try and do an upstairs clear before sending him in, however, as if not, they'll be taking a pretty massive risk. He's being shot out from the top side.
The one thing about Giants so far is that it seems like they've been prioritizing fragging rather than putting the diffuser down.
Yeah, I would agree with that to a certain extent. It seems like they're like it seems like they're fragging to get to that point, but they may be having issues deciding like when it's time to stop and switch the focus. I think might be the greater core issue going on right now.
Yeah, but the main issue with that, inside of not really having focused objective play, is that sometimes it can come back to bite you in those very close rounds where having a diffuser down extends the time, and just forcing the defense to actually move and have to come to you instead can help you out quite a bit. Some drone play coming in for Giants now, though, as they get good info inside of lobby. But I don't believe that they know the man is on the southern side of that as well. Monty is literally all the way inside, but Lunar just drops the shield and gets gunned by Nesk on the pulse. Jordan trades out one onto Sexy Cake, PSK, Nesk. The whole kill feed is orange, but the trades finally come through, but we're down to 3 people after the dust settles. Jordan in a 1 versus 2 up against PSK and Moringa. So Team Liquid looking solid for the time being.
Jordan trying to use the soft destruction advantage that he may have in any given situation in order to leverage at least one of these 2 kills. To be fair, he has still over a minute remaining. This is a massive amount of time, at least in terms of siege gameplay, for him to work with. So he's not pressured in any sense of the word on timing here right now. It's really just up to him about how he wants to play this. Courtyard door opened up. He's going to go down, try to swing in. He messes it up just a little bit, though, and unfortunately that's going to cost him hugely as he's no longer able to cleanly push in. Second buck charge now finally gives him the ability to try and push forward off that skeleton key, but it's not going to work. PSK is now very much ready for it. A good attempt, just unfortunately a little flawed in the execution, so PSK will shut it down, and Liquid will claim their second.
Oh my god.
What?
Dark Zero beat Empire.
Did they really?
What?
Were they like losing that map when we walked away from it?
They won 7-5.
Wow. All right, folks.
Oh my god.
Little spoiler alert for you there, but
You better have both streams up, otherwise you're trolling. I'm just going to tell you that right now. If you don't have both streams up, you're just not living the rainbow life you need to be living. You need to upgrade. You need to upgrade. Google Chrome, you can make multiple tabs. You can get it on anything. You're good. Split it.
are we squad streaming?
I wonder if we are. We should be.
Let's go tell them.
They're both verified channels, so you could.
Yeah, right. We should have that feature. I think.
Attackers need to
Why doesn't
locate.
You can do it with normal users now too.
Why doesn't Ubisoft just hire us? You know, like just give me a contract. It's fine.
We got good ideas.
Sometimes I'm smart. 60% of the time it works every time.
We'll talk to the people, folks.
Yeah, but in case you guys were wondering what was going on over on the main channel, there you have it, guys. Empire takes their first North American loss to Dark Zero. That's crazy.
Or G2. G2 still unscathed by a North American team.
Yeah. The last time that Europe lost a LAN, like to actually lose the entire LAN to NA, was all the way back in Year 1, Season 3. When Plain Ducks lost to Continuum. Because Saronic doesn't know how to hold a flank.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Just throwing him out there. Like,
Oh, we're setting him on fire. That's the only thing I
he's
can
on a
give
plane right now.
That's the
It's not
only
even fair.
thing.
He can't respond.
Look, that's the only thing that I have over Alex. I mean, what are you going to do? He's literally 6'2" and a Viking. What else are you going to talk about?
It's true.
That's it. Like, oh yeah, you're small arms. Like, no, it doesn't work. He's a Viking, dude. It just, yeah. Anyways, back to the task at hand here between these two teams. For right now, Giants has been able to set pace quite a bit, but the issue is that Liquid is able to fight fire with fire. And I think that's the one thing that Giants have kind of overlooked inside of their strategy. Liquid was born inside of this.
Yeah.
This is what they deal with on a regular basis and prove that they're better than everyone else inside of LATAM doing this and dealing with this amount of aggression.
Like the certain playstyle the Giants are working for right now actually probably would trip up quite a few teams in SI.
Oh, absolutely.
Liquid's not one of them, like you said. This is, they're born and bred in this kind of play style, so they very much are very well aware of how to play into this.
Attackers bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Yeah, well, so far strategy working out pretty well for Liquid. Cool, calm, and collected. They don't move too much. Frag grenade goes down the tube. 2 Vibe stairs. Actually doesn't destroy the drone that was sitting on top of the sign either, but yeah, they're going to have some info, as you said, on Ness. PSK with the first kill finds Jordan, who just hopped into the kitchen window with no further assistance. But as Marcio is graciously showing us, they're not really doing too much in really team order. Speakeasy's upstairs inside of luggage. It's a lot of drone play, but again, it's a lot of movement, no progress.
Steric's working his way over, probably going to start to apply some pressure over towards the, I would imagine Hugabauk. Yeah, he's going to walk out onto Hugabauk, drop down now. So we'll see if he readjusts that to start throwing pressure. And remember, it's on the Finko once again, so they do have the capability to boost those players back up. And they'll probably be using that in order to work the execute as they've done already in at least one other of these rounds. Besides that, Team Liquid, oh, okay, well, Team Liquid's going to be working their C4 game apparently as Paula just sends Ysera flying out of nowhere, hunting him down. And knocking another player from Giants off the roster for this round. That's now the Buck and the Hibana gone. Hibana being a pretty big one as well that was lost earlier, removing the capability to try and get that hard destruction off onto the bar wall. Hysterix finally going to strike back as he doesn't go down to the balcony, but instead goes for the side window repel. Takes out Paula.
This is going to get super aggro whenever those adrenal surges go off. That's when you really got to be worried. Nesk with one, Sexy Cake with yet another. Down to the 1 versus 4, but so many bullets inside of this LMG, they won't make contact though. PSK pistol whips Hysterix, and Team Liquid finds yet another.
So Team Liquid inconsistent here after the initial shock value had gone away from the playstyle on Giants, and this now takes us into our final 2 rounds, where once again Liquid maintains a 2-round lead at 3-1, going into their favor, rotating back down into Kitchen. This is the one site that so far they were not able to successfully deal with due to the, I'm going to say this, but keep in mind, I'm saying this accurately, the successful fuse play that happened from Giants back on that round.
If you're just here, yes.
That's not wrong.
That is right.
That's exactly
also,
what happened.
Yes, G2 did take it to Chonka. That is not a meme. It's not Photoshop. Uno played that.
It's just SI.
Welcome to the Six Invitational, folks.
So we are going to see the 6-pick happen again from Lunar on this site. It's just going to work itself over towards a Montane, though. And besides that, we also see another 6-pick for the Defenders this time in order to bring the Alibi into play on Nesk.
Alibi is a very unique operator that we don't talk about too often, so let's break it down for you real quick. Alibi is a 3-speed, 1 armor, has holograms as her primary utility. You can see the little shape-shifting logo looking thing. What she does is she sets those up, and they actually look exactly like her. When you shoot them, they mark you. She also has an MX4 Storm SMG that's actually very, very good in close proximity to people because of its rate of fire.
It's a good way to trip up enemies and make them second guess themselves on peaks. Doesn't necessarily slow teams down to a massive amount though. Just gives a very lucky amount of intel if somebody just happens to make the mistake on it. Mainly played for the fast movement capabilities and the utility. And wow, that is a jump out and a half right there from the man playing it, Ness. Trying to go for spawn kills. Not going to find any this time. But thankfully for him, no one actually spawned on that side from Giants. So it's not going to be anything lost at this point either.
Alright, well, that's good. Just had to double check myself real quick right there. Traditionally speaking, an alibi player, but I haven't played it in a very long time for some reason. 2 seconds, I thought she was at 2 or 2 speed, but no, that was correct. You gotta trust yourself sometimes. Just send it. That's exactly what they're going to be doing with this alibi pick anyways. Alibi's an operator that, as John just explained, you really just use to trip up your opponents in those regular pre-fire areas where they just have to think about it before they peek it. We've actually seen one bamboozle happen during this tournament. You and I cast it. It was on the half wall of border. Very impressive stuff. It's extremely difficult to pull off against people with such prowess.
Most teams are going to catch on to it relatively quickly, especially at this level of play. But sometimes, especially in stress situations, when players don't have time to think about their actions, they do make that fatal mistake and get themselves away. It's just a bit of a rarity to see. This time, though, Speakeasy's going to catch at least the first one hiding out in the hallway. That'll be dealt with. Piece of intel is still there, however, as is an icon that is there for Alibi no longer present, so they at least can use it as an indicator that players have pushed up to that point and are trying to destroy the utility. Trying to push down 90, Nesk looking for some sort of revenge, but no, the open hole into the wall there is going to give the opening kill over to Paula. Oh, and as well here, Lunar's going to be able to knock down the teammate, I believe, with Melee and get the finish off onto PSK. Some support potentially coming in from teammates there as well. Giants making great work of this push right now. Liquid has been wiped off the map for the most part. It's down to just Moringa and Paula to try and pull off a retake.
Lunar is such an aggressive Monty player. As soon as they push up against his shield, he immediately drops it and goes for the slap. Works out for him. In that case, though, going to get a lot of information where the last two remain as well. So that's good info for Giants. More than likely signaling for a plant to go down, especially with that pick onto Paula. It's Moringa, last alive here. Still has 2 toxic babes. Oh, tries to go over the top, but again, Lunar, as soon as he sees somebody, he just drops the shield. Every time. Look at how quickly he drops the shield. Right when he goes into animation, he's like, drop shield, bang.
Lunar don't want none of that smoke.
I get it.
Get it?
You're funny.
Took you a second.
No, I got it initially. I just wanted to say I get it.
Okay.
I am also a zoomer.
Lunar.
Unlike Parker.
That's true, yeah. Lunar bringing a nice fight to the table, and probably one of the most aggressive, as you were saying, Capitao, or not Capitao, one of the most aggressive Montaigne performances I have seen in quite a while. Now he's on Capitao. And besides that, we'll see the operators get locked in here. Any crazy 6 picks coming out from the Giants this time? Not looking like it. Hysteric's the only one that hasn't locked in yet, but hey, we will get it. Where's it going to go? Come on. Let's have some fun.
Nothing. Got a 6 picks right into the IQ.
Gamer move.
I'm going to assume that they did not have an idea of what they wanted to switch off of. IQ, a great operator on Coastline anyways. It's a lot of soft flooring that you're able to shoot through, whether it be the ceiling or the floor. Just depends on what floor you're on, obviously. But with her sensor on her wrist, she's able to see all electronics, and she can shoot them with her pistol in tow with that. So works out pretty well on maps like Coastline.
Bars another site here. A mixed bag of play from a Team Liquid. Being able to control things, I believe, the last time we ended up on this site. Gonna look to try and control it one more time. Set themselves up with that 4-2 halftime scoreline, which will give them, hopefully, the easy run up to 7 in the second half. Only need to win about half the rounds in it itself. Nesk, man. Got some crazy runouts going on from Nesk here over the past 2 rounds. This time he just goes for the front walkout. But once more, not going to catch anyone from Giants in his path.
Impressive overall showing from Giants so far. Actually able to tango with Liquid. Oh, but what is Paula doing? A couple of shots make contact with Speakeasy, but not enough to be fatal. Quite a bit of damage though, almost down to 50 HP. That's something definitely noteworthy. 1, 3, and 4 on the game so far as well. Most impactful player thus far has been Hysterix, 7, 0, and 3. So, a good information game for Giants.
I like the aggressive play from Liquid, to be honest. It seems like, once again, it's kind of crazy, but they're trying to force Giants to respect them more by doing this. It's hopefully forcing them to play a bit more passively and stop what you're seeing here now, which is just like the much more aggressive style to try and move in and take control away from Liquid. Giants are still winning it, in my opinion, more times than not right now, though. So Liquid's attempts to get aggro are a bit of a mixed bag.
And just a silly play by Paula, to be completely honest with you. There's really no point in you trying to fight for theater there, especially when you have no support from any teammates. They already had VIP. You're challenged into that for really no reason at that point in time. Just not even really wasting time. There was still 2 minutes on the clock. So a little bit of an overcompensation there from Paula. I'd like to see him reel it back just a little bit.
He's still waiting for a rotate to work its way up through Cool Vibes. Nothing in the nearby vicinity, and the drone that they're going to throw down there should confirm that over the next couple of seconds. Jordan is going to be regrouping with the team here as well over the next few moments, and that's pretty much handed over full topside control. In fact, entirely topside control over to the Giants roster now. So Jordan just has to start work on the buck with his remaining skeleton key charges. Start allowing this team to do a bit more work in terms of actually getting themselves onto the site itself. Now, to be fair, on-site presence at a minimum right now for Liquid, despite still having 4 players up. Really just Sexy Cake and Moringa playing onto the Sunrise bar, where more than likely Giants are going to focus their effort.
Jordan waiting for a ping downstairs. You can see him dancing back and forth on the floor and above, but the ping's actually on the couch behind him. Switches sides real quick to open that up, but it's going to be too little too late. Giants wasting a lot of time trying to get on the site now. This has been a big issue for a lot of teams today. So much time waste here. I see PSK as he rotates into 90. Sends a shot his way, but only one will make contact. Rotates back towards White now, but actually no, he will go for the full rotation. He's going around towards Luggage. This late flank could pay off massively for Team Liquid, and it's already paying off now. PSK picks up Speakeasy. He's looking for more. They have the hatch drop covered. Does he see the laser? Oh no, but it's all Liquid across the board. It's down to one and one man alone. It's Hysterics, but he quickly gets disregarded by Nesk, and Team Liquid take round 6.
Such a promising round as well for the Giants, but Team Liquid maintain their presence, and unfortunately the lack of any real downstairs control for the Giants, despite having the entirety of the second floor under their control, comes back to bite them in a big way. Liquid's given the room they need to pull off a flank. Not only that, they catch them right in the midst of their execute, since Giants had delayed for so long after getting that upstairs control, and ultimately Liquid succeeds in crunching the push and surviving on the site to claim round number 4, ending the half.
I honestly take back the thing I said about Paula. I think he needs to continue that aggression. It's no. The main thing is that Giants is running down the timer by themselves. There's nothing really that Liquid is doing besides obviously destroying drones that's slowing them down. So if you get those early picks, they're extremely impactful because it makes Giants want to do that even more. But as we switch sides, Team Liquid will now grab onto the offense. Giants on the defense. We're headed to Kitchen first. Pretty equal lineup across the board for Giants. Pulse as well as a Mozzie. We don't see Pulse too often downstairs here, but obviously he thrives in any environment where he gets to play the site from underneath. Well, obviously the site being on the bottom floor this time, but he still gets to play inside of there and get all the information for them upstairs.
So,
Nitro cells, explosives, loud noises.
Big booms.
Big booms.
They got 2 big booms.
I'm not a little boom type of guy. You know, I'm a big boomer, as they say.
Attackers are moving to
Oh, we all came from a big boom, so.
I think that's a big bang, sir.
Boom, bang.
Same thing. Same difference.
Same thing.
No, same difference.
What is the difference? Someone should tell us.
One's a bang and one's a boom. Duh.
I feel like booms are more explosive. Bangs are like more visual, you know?
Ridiculous.
We'll have to ask Team Rainbow when we meet them. So their voice actors are coming here next weekend.
Just ask the gentleman that voices Tachanka. I'm sure he'll tell you.
Is that one gonna be here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yes.
I forget which ones. So
Obviously
it's not all of them, but
the woman that does Ash's voice lines will also be here, so I'm gonna have to get a picture with her. If you guys are coming to the Six Invitational, make sure to check them out as well. Some of our voice actors will be here, which is a very, very cool thing that Ubisoft allowed us to do.
Javier is another one. Doc's another one. Forget the rest, to be honest.
Yeah, well, another one is Hysterics getting torn apart by Nesk with his SMG-11. Liquid overall, good start to the round. Only a minute in now, plenty of drone work still going on. Nesk is down on HP, but taking control of Aquarium is a big deal here. Is that they can get that hatch open for offices as well as get some soft destruction going inside of billiards.
Detected a bomb.
Just going to try and once again push forward with the easy control that he got for himself here. Fortunately, not able to leverage very easy kill against Lunar. He'll manage to stay alive on the inside.
Completely had a brain fart. Thought we were on double bar for like 2 seconds here, so apologies on that. They're actually going for the kitchen hack, which we were talking about the pulse earlier. So complete brain fart. But you know what's not a brain fart? Some good drone play here by Morenga, able to get the info on 2 people now inside of Sunrise. He's going to need some assistance for this. He does have some frag grenades, but he has been smoked off for the time being. So instead, he's just going to play for the info and try and assist his teammates as much as he can. Makeshifting or fashioning himself a hole through this wall with the skeleton key. Hasn't quite popped it just yet. One side of the panel is open. Liquid slow and steady. This looks exactly like how they were playing yesterday against Ninjas in Pajamas.
Very similar indeed. Right now, it's going to come back to haunt them a little bit without the control that they need. We're going to have to hope that the execute is there, and most importantly, that they're going to be able to get the intel they need in order to make sure that that execute goes off without a hitch. To be fair, they do have a slight man advantage, now a slightly greater one, as Sexy Cake has found the next pickup onto Lunar. But 30 seconds remaining for Team Liquid. We need to see them move into an execute position soon. There's quite a few players like Paula right here that are completely detached from that situation. They're going to try to run back around towards main stairs. Sexy Cake most recently being traded out. Oh no, and that's the diffuser that's gone down as well. That's a much more massive deal than I even realized. Paula going to try to rotate back in. There's still a player on the inside. Nitrocell has chucked the complete wrong direction, so Paula's going to walk right up. But there's not even really any time right now. They're going to be able to get the diffuser back, but they'll have to rush directly to the inside of service and make sure they can get it. This still might be possible. They got a player down, but no, they're not going to be able to start plant in time. So Giants win it on the timer itself, despite the close proximity to some of the last players alive for the Giants. Liquid will not walk away with this round. It goes to Giants instead.
That one's gotta hurt, but that's on Liquid for being so slow to the party. And especially having the man with the diffuser upstairs by himself inside of Pent. Not the best idea to take that peek when he did, but that's going to be a huge punishment for Liquid. And Giants gets 1 round closer to tying things up between these two. I'll definitely say that the Lion and Dokkaebi bans here seem to have plagued these two rosters, because a lot of people have been playing these two ops on Coastline recently, just because it makes your life a lot easier when it comes to roam clearing and just info overall. Especially making people sit still with Lion when you want to take your gunfights definitely helps you out. These two teams don't have access to those, and it's definitely hurting them both.
We still have access to a lot of the dedicated, roam clear, anti-roam ops.
Yeah, but you only get one person. That's the thing, right?
It's true.
So like you can still run Jackal, but it's Coastline. You can be from kitchen to office on the other side of the map in 10 seconds,
Still like an option to bring like a Nomad or something. We saw them bring the track slingers
the Gridlock
around as well, Gridlock as well. So already trying to utilize some of these options, just questionable placement of the utility of that round for Team Liquid, as it did not accomplish the deed that they needed. Like with the loss of that diffuser in a late round, and obviously the lack of time they had leading into the execute itself. Sterix is going to toss out that Valcam over onto the umbrella sitting outside of the window. It's kind of in an obvious spot, so we'll see if it gets noticed by the members of Team Liquid as they work their way up there. They are probably going to have to check behind them though after they repel, so they've got an IQ. They'll more than likely get it.
So just a thought. Maybe Liquid should just take Fuse. Able to win around. He's got a 100% win rate.
It's true.
As far as I know.
100%.
As far as I know.
Like no one else brought it.
I don't know how many people have brought. I know that G2 has only brought Fuse, and what they made it sound like, because obviously I didn't get to watch the game because I have a job to do. It made it sound like he was very impactful and didn't lose any rounds. So I'm assuming 100%. Assuming 100% here, as Liquid goes for this site take. 2 quick kills for them. Lunar finally tries to bring things back. Sexy Cake, though, continues on the run. Have complete control of Hukin now. Paula with an initial kill as well. Knocks us down to the 1 versus 4. It seems like Giants is always in these clutch moments here, when one teammate has to try and win out a round for the entire squad. He's going to get the first one, but Sexy Cake's already on plant. It's something that Giants did not do very often, try and stick a plant.
Wow.
He's going to come back to bite them. Liquid with round 8.
The round ended in a minute and 15 seconds, by the way. So really swift play coming in from Team Liquid there. The opposite of what we saw from the previous round, where they did not leave themselves enough time, mainly due to them losing their diffuser. This time they just go right in, and they actually trim up the roster without much intel or even utility seemingly needed to be used at all.
That's the thing about Coastline. You can rotate so fast, so you can usually have, reinforcements come off site to come and help somebody that's in trouble or in peril downstairs, upstairs, wherever you may be. But when you go really fast to site, it's hard for people to get back in time before you've already made an impact, especially getting that opening kill that Liquid did. Now you have complete control of Hookah. That person has to rotate for Pink. That's where that second kill came from, as he tried to rotate over towards Vase, killed him off of the window. They try to challenge up Vibe stairs. Again, just not very good positioning for Giants there to take that initial engagement. And that's all because of just the surprise factor from Liquid.
Giants are going to wipe that one off and just try the same site once again. Not really much they could have done to change that situation, so they're not really going to worry about it too much, thinking that that was a bit of a misnomer. They'll just go right back to it and try it once again. Getting to a dangerous point here, though, with Team Liquid sitting now only 2 rounds away from being able to close out. If something similar happens, they'll potentially gift it another round into the hands of Team Liquid and set them up at map point when they could have chosen to go for another option.
Routine setup here from Giants. Quad reinforcement on Pink, VIP wall reinforced, and the usual inside of Hookah. Those reinforcements, some of the most important as well, because it lets you play Vase safely, so you have kind of a bunker area to settle down. Most notably, we have not seen Habana be utilized on this site just yet. We have seen her brought actually quite often between these two teams. We've seen her for the most part, all except for one round where Sexy Cake played Gridlock instead, but that was very impactful.
Sexy Cake getting that nice little hop up there. He's going to be playing around in Ruins barricades as much as he can place his footing there anyway. You guys just saw a moment ago. Not looking like that they're necessarily going to be utilizing that angle just yet. Curious to see if he's actually going to stick around there or decide to move over these next couple of seconds. It's looking like that PSK still has a position close by. Not sure if they're going to maintain it for much longer here. First minute of the round having gone by, and indeed he does end up dismounting that position after the initial engagement. Sexy Cake does not stick with it. Rest of the team now moving into position to try and push it from Aqua once again. That was where they started their real assault on the site. That was the swarm point, or at least one of them. Oh, Hysterics, so this time getting aggressive once again, firing up to that window, catches Sexy Cake.
Oh, Speakeasy with the peek, just an educated guess on where Paula was located, but Paula gets a frag through the beams. Always a hard kill when you're trying to go for those early on. Giants works a lot with the surprise factor inside of their gunplay, and it sometimes get some kills like this. Ysera getting the kill onto Nesk from Aquarium Balcony, but the issue is 9 times out of 10, Team Liquid are ready for it. They have holes under Aquarium bar as well, so oh no, Paula's not even going to pre-fire it.
Team's still trying to retrieve the diffuser in the meanwhile, we should note. Still very fearful of Hysterics' position, which I'm not even sure if he's even at the top of main stairs anymore. It was initially a retreat from him. Oh, nicely done by PSK. He's going to be able to move in there, blows up one of the Goyo shields. We do finally see a repeat from Hysterics, but it's not going to lead to anything just yet. In the meantime, Paula leaves a default cam up, so that'll get dealt with pretty quickly, but nobody moving in to actually contest Hysterics, so he's going to maintain that position over on the other side and be a constant threat to rotate in and really try to shut these guys down if they're not paying attention to it. Payne goes in to bust open the self-destruction onto the site wall, guarding the 2 points between them. PSK will throw in the first stun charge, second one to follow that up, but immediately Paula peeks into it, goes down. Jordan with a Nitro Cell finds the next one. PSK going to have to try and trade this back in a 1v3. He's found the first one. The next two, though, not revealing themselves, at least not very easily. Only 18 seconds remain for PSK to at least start his defusal plant process, and this is just not looking good.
Yeah, no real possible way for him to win this. He doesn't have any utilities, no drones to support him. Shoots a smoke, gets almost rid of a Valkyrie cam there, but he's not going to be able to get anything except for one kill, but no, won't even be that. It'll be a down instead. Giants gaming with round 9. They're actually keeping this pretty close.
Very, very close indeed. Like we said, a lot of aggression coming out from them, and it's working very well too, even from a defensive perspective, holding against these stronger pushes from Team Liquid and being able to trade, pound for pound with some of the best in Siege right now.
Well, for right now, Liquid still in the lead, up 5-4, and they've been able to stay pretty square so far through this offense. They had that one very aggro round, but that's really been it. Right after that, they cool their jets, try and go for a slow take once again, biting for map control, and it really just doesn't work in their favor. Ysera's going to 6-pick off of the Valkyrie cams and pick up an alibi instead as we head over to Penthouse. This is a site we see regularly run with Amira, but For some reason, Mira's not in this lineup.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
They're not going to be
attackers.
brought into the play this time around. Making it not necessary for the Giants' defense here, which is a far cry from what most teams operate under in the normal circumstances anyway when it comes to defending this site. Besides that, setup is going to be pretty straightforward in terms of what we expect teams to do here. Not that there's much in the variation that could happen anyway. Really the only question here in terms of how he wants to position these Goyo shields, try to pay attention to that and see how they decide to want to play this here. Jordan's actually going to pop open quite a bit of the close to the outside wall there. Now it transitions between the two sites.
Okay, I want to see how they play this. This is a very unique setup, everyone, so let's try and walk through this. Deployable shield inside of VIP. Hysterics is putting ADS under the window, so they can't get rid of that. So that's kind of a niche thing. If they pre-fire through the window, obviously they'll get marked there. They also are missing a reinforcement for Master, as you can see to your right-hand side here, Marcio. They're missing that, which is a pretty important one as well. But the main thing to notate is, look at how many ADSs they have set up around shields. This is purely based on trying to burn as much utility before they get onto the site and play aggro from VIP. They have that panel set up so Ysera can impact it from VIP and get back to site safely. So this is going to be a tall task for Liquid.
See, Liquid are going to start to move in. First off, Nesk will push forward here. He's already used 2 of the air jabs, 1 to block off the cool vibes. I missed where the second one got placed out at. More than likely is somewhere nearby to prevent the push coming in from that position, possibly towards like the 90 angle, or potentially to prevent rotates moving in from Billiards. Position there. Last one's going to go out over towards Luggage, giving Team Liquid pretty much the entire half of the upstairs part of this map to work with here. They'll have a lot more free roam, a lot less capability for Giants to try and crunch them, at least without getting noticed. Those stun grenades going to work their way into the VIP window. Will get caught by the ADS, however. You also still have the Alibi in position, set to stop this. Another nade going to work its way in there. Does knock off about half the HP from Ysera, but he is still alive. Heart Ping will go in. They'll reconfirm that that player is still up and living in, blocking their path forward here. Paul, though, will be able to move in, catches one player who's lurking out in the halls, but does also shoot onto the Alibi utility, giving his position away. Sexy Cake will trade, but Hysterics gets himself the double to take out Moringa and PSK.
A quick hop over the balcony has been downed. Hysterics takes down Paula. Giants in the lead now. Sexy Cake not very much HP, but he does still have Nesk alive. The top fragger right now for Liquid. He's going to have to do a little bit more, though, in order to get this to winning round. Nesk currently waiting outside a guitar door. Things have slowed down quite a bit. 50 seconds remain. Quick shot through. He's actually going to hit Jordan just a little bit. It's kind of not nearly enough to be fatal just yet. Pre-fires low as Jordan is laying just on the other side of that wall. He's so very close to getting this kill, and that would open up the entire site for him. Continues to go for the wall bang. Stun grenades now coming in, but he's got the angle. Nitro Cell comes through, but no, Nesk is not there to grab it. But Hysterics and Jordan are. Giants Gaming with the round.
Giants Gaming able to negotiate themselves yet another round, yet another continuation against Team Liquid here. It seemed like a sure thing to try and take control of this series, but maybe not so much anymore. A tie at 5-5. Giants are once again putting up a fight here. Remember, though, this is also where they were able to put up a pretty decent fight against their opponents yesterday, too, but ultimately still faltered at the end of the match. Our first pause of the series is going to come in from Team Liquid. Once again, we've already talked about this. Giants coming back in, claiming multiple rounds now from this defensive side, where Liquid started out with 4. So far, they've only been able to claim 1 themselves here. And in the meantime, Giants have run the gauntlet back and are about to take the lead.
Coastline, usually an offensive map, but between these two, very, very defensive. And I think that goes with a couple of things. Number one, that last setup, very unique. You don't see that very often on Penthouse, especially no Mira. There's really no way for Theater to be going the way that it did. I love the setup inside of VIP, though. It wasted a lot of time for Liquid, and Giants capitalized on so many kills from that 90 area / VIP, and they were still able to, after all of that, stop them from gaining control of Penthouse overall. They went for that plant, still had the Nitro Cell on the Goyo. Just great utility usage and a very nice setup from Giants that worked out very well.
Well, into the next round we will go. We are going to transition down into Kitchen and Service next for the Giants. As like we said, they'll look to take the lead away from Team Liquid on this round. Liquid are going to continue to bring similar motifs to what we saw in the previous round. Was floating the possibility of a nomad pick there, but instead opt to go for the gridlock, which again, we have already seen at least once here, potentially from the Giants attacks. I don't know if Liquid have brought it out just yet. But either way, going to be brought into the fold here to work as an interim and to guarantee Liquid can have better control over some parts of this map.
Yeah, Liquid brought it on their first offensive round. Sexy Kick was the one who brought it. He's been switching back and forth between Grid, Hibana, and Thatcher. So they've actually played the only Thatcher that we've seen in this entire matchup. And honestly, that could be the thing that could be helping them out just a little bit more with their information game, because there has been a lot of Mozzie played. This will be the second time Mozzie's been played by the Giants on defense, but Team Liquid had been playing it a lot as well.
Interesting to note as well that despite the fact that we have seen so many successful rounds come out from the Giants, it's usually not them getting the first kill. It's usually them making up for a deficit that ends up happening at some point in this or at some point in the round for themselves and having to crawl back from that. So not only are they winning these rounds, but they're often winning them from a 4v5 or worse position. So Team Liquid really needs to wake up here soon.
Yeah, they're getting the frags in order to get onto site, except really for that last instance. But before that, they did a very good job of getting those opening frags. Most of them have went their way, but main issue now, though, is it seems like they're still falling into the same ruts that they were against yesterday, or excuse me, against Ninjas in Pajamas yesterday, where they just take a little bit too much time in order to get down to that execute. Once again, if they're able to fix that, should do them pretty well. They had that round earlier as well, where they got extremely aggressive off of the hookah balcony. The Giants did not know what to do with it, so sooner or later we might just see a direct site hit.
He's going to take a good amount of control here. Nesk already trying to line up. Oh, one for himself there. Nearly actually had it to that soft wall. Not even sure if the angle would have lined up appropriate for him, but had a chance to maybe grab Lunar there. It doesn't end up working out. Nothing lost, though. Just a bit of a random chance headshot that maybe would have happened. But does not end up being the case. For Team Liquid now, Paula still waiting for his opportunity to pick up a kill. He knows he's going to get pushed here from main stairs. Wasn't waiting for the actual push to work its way in. A lot of information going over to Team Liquid right now, but just not able to capitalize on it as much as they would like at this point. We're down to almost a minute left. No confirmed kills onto anyone from Giants. And while yes, they do have a good amount of upstairs control, it's not fully under their belt just yet. They still have some clearing to do. Starting off with that as they finally eliminate Lunar on the inside of VIP.
What a shot from Nesk onto Lunar there. It was a 90-degree angle flick from Nesk. His drones have already been used, though, and that's a major thing. Means the drone economy for Liquid has went down quite a bit. That's going to be 3 drones dead, but a double kill now for Nesk. He's claimed 2.
Nesk trying to move in, lines up another actually real good angle for himself and nearly tries to find the kill from it. The shots, though, seem like they're off a bit as it only does about 10-15 damage to Speakeasy. This nade working its way down could make up the difference. It is going to roll a little bit too far and right into an ADS. But in the meanwhile, PSK playing the front lines out by the Lamborghini doorway is going to be able to pick up Speakeasy and send quite a few of the members from Giants running back to the site. Time again becoming an issue, but thankfully not much longer. PSK is now going to leave only 1 player left alive on the Giants, and not for very long as Moringa cleans it up, and Team Liquid, coming off that pause, get themselves a flawless round.
I think the thing for Liquid is that they're very good at making people move depending on their information, and how they take maps is they just stay spread. So when people make the adjustments, they're able to get the kills when they rotate. I'm starting to notice that now, the more that we've seen Liquid over the last 2 days, is that they play very spread, but most of the time when they're able to force the defense to move is when they just kill everybody very, very quickly, because they're all just holding their exits every single time. There's no safe way for you to get out of the area that you're in. You just don't know that. Even jumping down to courtyard isn't safe because somebody's there watching.
The problem, though, is it does rely, again, on the majority of the team being able to keep those positions and, most importantly, keep themselves alive, where we have seen Liquid get pieced apart while trying to pull this off in the past, most notably, of course, in yesterday's games. So they still have to be a little bit careful about how they approach things. It seems like it was a very methodical approach in the previous round, though, so they pull that off again. They're sailing right on to map number 2 with a 1-0 lead in their favor. Giants, of course, want to give it their best effort to try and stop that, so we do get one more tactical time out. as we head into the final round of regulation time.
It's definitely winnable for Liquid. They're bringing the gridlock again to try and close off those rotations the Giants have been pulling off on flank. But the thing to notate here is that Hysterix was on the Clash, and then Six picked it. So we're going on over to Pulse. He's taking the words right out of my mouth.
So Pulse going to be brought into the play, and they're going to try and hide it. They're also going to switch Sexy Cake over once again. Sexy Cake been jumping between quite a few operators so far on this half. He's going to change it one more time, going back onto the Capital for that extra utility to be utilized on a site push. A couple great positions where Sexy Cake can throw this in from. There's the outside window, moving with the team in through something like Service. A couple other angles, even from up top as well. We could see those micro smokes and incendiaries deployed in order to flush out some of the more hard lock defending players. That became a slight issue towards the end of the last round for Liquid, but they were eventually able to leverage for that control.
Okay. So Hysterix or someone is going to hold down. No, he's not even holding down Sunrise. He's holding down Blue Bar and no, he's playing Office. Okay, so they've dedicated reinforcements inside of Sunrise with some punch holes here, and now they're setting up completely off-site for a bunker setup inside of Theater. So they're very spread thin here for reinforcements. I want to know what they actually have set up on site. We're about to find out here in just a second. You're literally the best, Marcio. Okay, so they have 2 reinforcements for Pantry, but a rotate here. Giants is playing a completely spread defense. Oh no, this is looking so dangerous for Giants.
The Legion's dead, less than 30 seconds into the round. Now the Jaeger as well. Liquid seem to have already gotten the lock on this strategy from Giants. Either that or it was a big miscall that's going to end up costing them. Already down to 3 players left. We're not even a minute through the actual action phase yet. And for Liquid, they've got every advantage they could ask for here. Moringa does see the popped open door. He's going to wait to see if the rerun out happens, but I don't believe that'll be the case, especially considering the man disadvantage.
We don't like reruns. We only watch the live action shows. That's it. Holes, oh my, what a drive-by from Hysterix. Was that a punch hole to bait where he was, or did you just know? Oh, wow. That was literally just a pre-fire through the wall and he killed him. That was such an impressive play. Hysterix hears Nest step on a goo mine on vibes, but chooses not to take the gunfight. Probably a good idea with how things are currently breaking down. Liquid slowly coiling around the site. They have Sunrise as well as they have the upstairs, with Nesk making his way back up to open up some holes. 1.5 minutes remain. Moringa makes it even more difficult for Giants to try and push this into OT as he kills Hysterix.
A little bit more progress being made here by Team Liquid, but time also going to become an enemy in the next 30 to 40 seconds here. Spending that little bit of extra time that they have, reconfirming the drone work that was done already in the early round. They did not really get a lot of presence of it in the site, but now they do. PSK's drone gives Sexy Cake the intel to take down Speakeasy. Jordan's going to run right by this drone as well. He finally hears it. Is going to try to take it out, but now still present. They know he's hiding in the bathroom corner. They're going to try to ice him out, but no! Jordan runs out around the corner, catches the Nesk push, but cannot stop PSK from Lamborghini. And with that, Team Liquid will close out on the final round of regulation, taking a 7-5 victory over their opponents.
Insane setup there from Giants, but it got picked apart so well by Liquid, and specifically Nesk, who really just walked in, cleaned house inside of Theater, and walked away. There wasn't too much to it. We really didn't even get to see that much because of how fast it was handled. But the issue with that setup is when it comes down to trying to play on site, you can't. There isn't enough safe area in order to play, so it's either their entire setup off-site works, Blue, or they fail and they lose the round.
Nesk and Moringa being our frag leaders there for Team Liquid that time, with Nesk once again leading the charge. Moringa actually a little bit further behind that time, but that's not a huge deal. So you had PSK also with 11-4 at the end of that match as well. So great individual performances once again, which is what we've come to expect, I think, after day one's performance from Team Liquid themselves. But a lot of crazy stuff being tried in that game. We had the Fuse pick. We had the really aggressive offsite setup there in the final, which to be fair didn't really work, but it's still cool to see these teams trying so many new things on Coastline.
It's, with a stage this big, you want to try new things, and hey, if it works after that round and it keeps you in the game, why the hell not, you know? The issue is for Giants on the defensive side when it came down to that particular round is, again, you didn't play together in order to go for those refrags, which is what the setup really looked like. Okay, we're going to bunker up inside of Theater and just be very aggro for Penthouse. Don't let them get this. Don't let them get any bar control. just don't let them have the map pressure that they want when they attack Kitchen, except it got turned on its head immediately.
Yeah, and with that happening, of course, Giants do run themselves into defeat as far as this map is concerned. Unable to push it to OT this time around, and dropping for the second time this tournament now their opening Coastline match. They did the same thing yesterday in their opener. Now they have to move on to the final map, or potentially, I should say, the final map, excuse me, if they do not rebound coming up after this. But it's going to be tough, as once again, it's another map which could very easily favor Liquid, as you were mentioning before. It's very much their series to lose with the way that the maps ended up going.
Yeah, and Villa, a map that is honest to God, it's so weird. The map is huge. It is so big. So the entire basement sector is where a lot of roam potential is, as well as having sites strewn across the entire thing. You can keep Pulse safe all the way downstairs to use him for that vertical play. There's just so many options on Villa. The main thing is, though, is that most teams have their own takes on how they want to handle defending these sites, particularly Aviation as well as Games. That's where we see the most creative stuff come out. We haven't seen something that's revolutionary when it comes to Trophy as well as Stat.
You've got a lot of kind of free-flowing sites in that regard, especially on that one right there, Trophy and Statue, which allows the defenders quite a bit of freedom to roam around the map and safely retreat to the site and try to hard defend it later on in the round. So I think that we're actually going to see quite a few of these players thrive in that sort of environment. Once again, it seems like both teams were no strangers to wanting to use that roam presence, wanting to use a more aggressive defensive style in order to pick up frags in the early round and then fall back on the site. Villa is a map where I think that you can do that pretty much on every single site you play on for the most part, so I think both teams are going to feel really comfortable here. It's just a matter of, once again, which team is going to be able to better utilize it.
Every single time that Sexy Cake plays Smoke, I'm just going to have flashbacks. This is going to happen. Make sure I don't say bare knuckle brawling, chat. Remind me of that. I still...
I've already used that once, so...
I still cannot believe I said that.
It's all good.
You ever have those moments in life where you just go back and you're like, if I could just have one more shot at that.
One more little redo.
And one more just like, can I hit the rewind button? It's a great Adam Sandler movie, by the way. Fantastic.
One of the better ones.
But yeah, definitely one of the better ones. But overall, going into this matchup, I think that Liquid just has the prowess over Giants when it comes to Villa. But again, we saw them with some very unique setups when it came to Coastline. We could see that again when it comes to Villa. There's a lot of reinforcements that you can move around. We could see an extended hold. We could see them play Trophy and Statuary, then throw all the reinforcements inside of Planes, for instance, or something along those lines, or Aviation, excuse me. So overall, I have hope still for Giants. I want them to do well just because APAC and Fnatic is the only team besides them remaining from that region, but the light is very dim right now.
Yeah, and the other problem that I feel like Giants can end up running into in this matchup is more depth of strategy based. A lot of teams, when they come to the international circuit for that first or second time, haven't really been able to fully flesh out their map pool yet for international play, which tends to be a completely different beast than local region play. Oftentimes teams will come with a whole book of strats for a map, and it just won't work because it's only tailored to the individual region's playstyle, not a more international playstyle, or to play directly against, in this case, a Latin American playstyle, which is very unpredictable and oftentimes very hard to actually figure out what the game plan is going to be going into any specific round.
Absolutely. And I mean, the main thing for Giants is, hey, you know, this might be the last time that you will be seen at the 2020 Invitational. Have some fun with it. Do some stuff that no one would expect you to do. We've already seen a little bit of that from this squad, but just crank it to 10. For God's sakes, run outside. It doesn't matter. If you're able to throw Liquid off their game, we've seen that in the past, Liquid does not do well with that. Ninjas in Pajamas, when it came down to their last map yesterday, we saw them start to play more aggressive. We saw them playing more for trades, John, and it worked out because that's Nip's game. Play your game. If your game is just the weirdest thing that no one's ever seen inside of Rainbow, do that. If it works, then it works.
Like a good Frost player.
Exactly.
Yeah. Bring that out.
Bring out Frost.
I think that's the only operator we haven't played yet. So I just want us to have every operator played at least once throughout the course of this tournament.
Honestly,
I don't know the last time this happened.
Last time Frost has been
No,
played?
last time every operator got played in the tournament.
Oh, we did. If you count the show match at Raleigh, we probably covered it.
No, I don't count that. Actual competitive matches is what I count.
You got me on that one.
Yeah.
My Liquipedia
me getting like 4 really lucky headshots doesn't count.
Look, my Liquipedia brain is only at like half capacity, right? Like I'm still working on it, still trying to fill it in. So
I'm trying to, you're waiting on the results to come back.
yeah, exactly. That piece isn't in there yet.
Sent the HTTP request to just stop.
Yeah, you know, the thing about that is there's so much history already in Siege with how young this game is, and I feel like everyone's main challenge for that is, well, what's the first event that you watch? I've been watching since beta, you know, like I feel like everyone's just trying to prove how much earlier they were on the Siege train. The thing is, though, is that everyone watching the stream right now, everybody at home, loves Siege. We love Siege. That's why we're here. This isn't just about money or anything else. It's about passion for this amazing video game that we all love. So, for Giants, that's why I'm saying just send it.
Do your best.
No, just send it. Either full send or
Does that
don't
not mean
send.
the same thing?
Oh, no, that's not do your best. Sending it is sending it. We will show you the definition of sending it. I don't even know what that word means, I'm going to be honest.
Don't say it again. That's
Okay, all right. All right.
At least not without context. Anyway. So once again, guys, I think we're just waiting on a small headset issue or audio issue to get fixed here. You can see our admin crew is listening to one of the Team Liquid players' earbuds right now. So we're just working on a fix for that, and then we should be able to start with our second map here on Villa in just a second. I think it's going to be an absolutely crazy matchup considering how Coastline just went. Villa affords, like I've already said, a very similar amount of freedom to the individual players on most sites. So I think we're going to see just as crazy a play coming out from this, if not anything crazier, just due to the fact that the map is a lot larger and a lot less linear too. We talked about this with Border, but it's very much a similar setup on Coastline, where the map is basically just a giant circle for, lack of better explanation.
It's a donut.
Yeah, it's just a giant donut, basically. You don't have that with Villa. Villa is a much more diverse map with regards to the pathing that you have leading into individual sites. A lot more trickier ways for roamers on the defense and even attackers, well, on the attack, to path their way into a site and try to trick up opponents when it rotates.
Well, as we try and get things squared away for Liquid, so all their stuff is working, let's talk about some of the history between APAC and Liquid. Don't have too much on record, though. The best showing that we've seen as of late from Liquid was actually them getting first at the OGA pit when they played up against Space Station Gaming. We did see that. That was actually a very good land, and where Liquid started to come back into their own. They used to be an international powerhouse, finishing at the top tier almost every single event that they went to. But they got cold there for a little while, especially when Zig was on his way out. They pick up Moringa, things start to work out again, and that was the first land that they won back together. So it was awesome to see that on the international front, especially going up against SSG, who at this event as well has really been coming into their own.
All right, guys, once again, just figuring stuff out here. Looks like we got a hot swap coming in from the backpack. Gonna try and set these players up nice and quick.
Always bring spares, folks.
Team Liquid came prepared. That's what a good team does.
Moringa's a support player. That's the thing.
He supports.
He is.
He's a support in more ways than one.
Yeah, they give him the duffel bag. He just fills it with wires. He's like, here, find something that plugs in.
I bring the headsets or the earbuds. In this case.
It's like when you have that one spare crappy controller, and just in case your other good one dies while your friend's playing.
It's like the one that drifts partially on the
Yeah. He's just trying to put his commands in like Smash Brothers or something. It just doesn't work.
All right, it looks like it's all set and ready to go, folks. We got the thumbs up, so it shouldn't be too much more of a delay. Unless Giants have something else to fix as well. We haven't checked that yet. But I'm going to assume that they're all nice and ready, guys, so there shouldn't be too much further delay between our match start time. Once you get into it, once again, this is going to be the test for Giants. Team Liquid has the advantage I think a lot of people would expect coming off of that first map. The real question now is, can Giants battle it back on a map that we haven't been able to see these two teams play onto just yet so far in this series? It's now going to determine potentially the fate of Giants. Well, whether Team Liquid have to stick around here for another hour or so if they end up going to map 3. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, on to Villa for map number 2, our final elimination match of the day here in the Brazilian group.
Going to be a lot of fun. I'm so excited to see how Giants handles this map. Again, this is a map that I've never seen Giants play before personally. So seeing how their offenses are going to go, especially their defenses, especially after all those unique setups we saw from them on Coastline, that's the part I'm the most excited for.
All right, first ban coming out. Liquid's on defense. Think of the 2 outer bans, meaning the first and last ban. Thatcher going to be removed at the start. Again, it's a pretty common ban we've been seeing become more and more popular over the past month just because of how universally applicable Thatcher is. He's got EMP grenades. There's a lot of electronics that the defenders have access to, and he makes them go bye-bye. So not a thing you want to deal with in a lot of situations. Maverick will be the second ban coming out there. Once again, a lot of hard reinforcement on quite a few of these sites that essentially create a box of protection for the defenders. So it's looking like Team Liquid, or excuse me, Giants in this case, are going to choose not to deal with that.
Giants just push that one step further. Liquid goes, hey, we're going to do LATAM, we're going to ban Thatcher. And, okay. We're going to also have a Jaeger ban come out. We've seen this a couple times through the tournament, but specifically on Cafe, just to try and make it to where you can get Goyo shields a little bit easier. Mirror going to be the last one removed. That one makes sense, but the Maverick and Jaeger bans especially, Maverick just ramping up that Thatcher ban, just going, hey, it's going to be even harder to gain access to those walls now. You're going to either have to go from underneath or find some other means of getting those wall denial operators off. Jaeger, honestly, I feel like it's just getting rid of it to try and not have Nesk have access. That's really what it feels like. It's just making it to where Nesk cannot possibly do some crazy stuff with Jaeger like he was doing the last time. Hysterics flashed a Nook. I'm pretty sure that we're getting a 6-pick here.
Yeah, wouldn't be too surprised if it was a target ban, just coming off your point there about the Jaeger, when you consider the fact that we had Nesk easily 5 to 6 kills ahead of his next highest teammate, so really coming into his own there, and primarily on that operator. So taking him out of that comfort zone, just to hope to try and destabilize him a little bit. It looks like they've just kind of changed up the operators a little bit here as a result of that ban. Normally it would be Moringa playing onto the smoke in most of these situations, but he's just going to go towards the other smoke, which is Mute. Obviously a bit of a different role there, but still very similar weapon kit and overall play style. So he'll jump onto that, and Nesk instead will take the mantle as the smoke, trying to go for the late round delay if necessary.
It's a good mantle to hold. The SMG-11, one of the best guns in the game, and arguably the best secondary in the game, just because of its kill time. It's a really good rate of fire with a great damage margin. We've seen so many highlight plays with this weapon in the past, especially from Team Liquid. So, pretty default setup here on planes as well as games. So, see how this works out for them. Denying all the walls with mute jammers instead of batteries. So that's going to be pretty straightforward to get rid of. Just going to be Ysera going underneath with that IQ scanner.
Ysera just going to pop open the studio window as he walks by over towards the main entryway. Of course, the IQ check, just to take out some of these gadgets. Getting rid of that extra utility from Team Liquid, so as not to trip up the team. But Ysera very much acting on his own right now, dealing with utility as he spots it. Doubt we're going to see any real aggression, although Team Liquid seem to want to jump on that. We had 2 players close to or on those main stairs at the bottom area, potentially trying to pinch onto the player. You could see one of them still in the main stairs area. So Ysera, if he does aggress this, is going to have to be very, very cautious.
Giants making quick work of the map. This is something that they did not really do too well on Coastline. A lot of the times they would all just scrap on one door and try and run in with a lot of utility behind them, obviously. Tactical crossbows, smoke bolts, Dokkaebi calls the lot, but doesn't seem like we're going to have too much of that just yet. We do have Asterix on that Dokkaebi. We didn't have her the last time, so obviously banned out with that Lion. Apologies on that, but actually pretty slow going here. I believe that Hysterics actually has the Boss G.
Does he?
He does. He does indeed have the Boss G ACOG. Oh man, Bikini is so happy somewhere right now.
Today's been a crazy day, man.
It really has, but it could work out, especially in this close proximity. All it takes is one bullet to down somebody at medium range. So this weapon can definitely be deadly. We've seen Slash Shark actually do this quite often.
So let's see.
Oh my, what a shot.
Speakeasy going to get taken out with a relative ease by Nesk. A nice swing from him on the SMG-11. But the choice to ban out the Jaeger might have come back to haunt them now that he's been unleashed on the smoke. Normally Moringa's choice operator in these situations. Ysera in the meanwhile is still doing investigation for site utility that may have been set up from that electronic scanner. Nothing being presented to him at this time, though. Now we go under the 1 minute marker. Giants need to start working towards getting information for this execute, wherever it will come from. They have players all over the map right now, but finally going to be able to strike. Hysterics closer towards those main stairs. Back in the lobby, he's going to be able to find the opening kill for his team against Sexy Cake.
I'm honestly surprised how slow Giants are moving with this ADS ban. You don't have to worry about anything. You can literally just throw your smokes, throw all of your utility into sight, and get pressure. There isn't too much from stopping them from doing that. They're right at the door already. Only the real thing standing in their way are Nesk and Paula. That's all they have to handle. Frag grenades now. They know that no one can possibly stop them. Nesk, here's the pole pin.
Oh,
the grenade's going to kill Jordan. I saw it roll on the floor, and he didn't have time to move because it was cooked. Such unfortunate timing. All of a sudden, we're down to a 1 versus 3, though. A quick challenge. M590 pumps from Nesk, but he switches over to the SMG-11 just for a little bit more distance. Ysera gets chopped down, and Liquid claim round 1.
Nesk target banned out, but still able to multi-frag in this instance. Great work from him to hold the line back over in the inside of Aviation. And that secures round number 1 for Team Liquid as they start on the path towards eliminating Giants and setting themselves up for the final match of the group tomorrow afternoon.
With the Dokkaebi call, or with the Dokkaebi utility, I really thought that Giants would be taking the map a lot quicker just because of that Jaeger ban. That last time, they got quite a bit of presence when it came to taking over Master and the trophy area as a whole. But the main thing is that Liquid still had control of most of the site as well as 90. There was really nothing they could possibly do. After Liquid saw enough pressure from Giants, they just backed off into site, were able to maintain man count. And then they just had that very unfortunate incident on Bust right outside of Plains' door. So for Giants, I think you just send that as a wash and try once again. But the main thing is I want to see them speed this process up.
Boss J ACOG still remaining in play, by the way, over on Hysterics, so that will become a factor once again. I'm sure everybody wants to see that lineup happen eventually, so we'll try to catch that when it does happen. In the meantime, Giants already pre-setting up those drones. A large amount of the drone presence established into the main red hall and kitchen area here. That includes the 4th drone now moving into the basement from Hysterics. So you can already get a good idea as to where Giants is probably going to start this map off with taking control, or at a minimum, wants to keep watch on to avoid getting cut off by flanks.
Well, Ella's coming back for a visit, folks. She's been in the news recently, as we've talked about her quite a lot on both streams. Her Scorpion Evo getting a recent buff for the first 16 bullets of the magazine. There's a lot less recoil, so it's usable again, which means that Ella is usable again in a lot more instances. We were seeing her quite often on bank just because her shotgun's so good and those Grishmont mines are so annoying.
Device in position.
Lunar and the rest of the team going to work themselves over towards that master bedroom rappel. Not just going to be working on that, though. Lunar himself
Drone activated.
also looking to back up a bit here just to try and check out the drones and act as support for the team in this instance. Get reconfirmation with some of these positions, and now Speaky's going to look to execute upon it. They had great intel onto those 2 members of Team Liquid holding in the kitchen downstairs, but unable to locate them right now, so they're going to have to dodge death as they push further into the site if they're not going to fall back to try and reaggress into kitchen to deal with those players. It's looking like Hysterics might try to do it from the basement, as we are going to see their phone call work its way out here to try and fish these players out, as Hysterics himself moves in to start working his way up those kitchen stairs.
Hysterics still does have 1 logic bomb. Working his way up pantry now, but chooses to back up before he gets too far ahead of himself. Do have Sexy Cake working the red dot, though, on that Alda. So we don't see too often. So far for Team Liquid, though, it's been a lot of sitting around. Giants are going to use their last logic bomb. This is where they need to start capitalizing on something. They're going to rip a couple of doors down, but it's really only going to be Hysterics who's walking towards someone. But no, it's going to be Liquid to mess things up. They overcompensate. 2 kills for Giants, and all of a sudden at man advantage. Sexy Cake takes away 1, though, so it's only going to remain in a 4 versus 3.
Paula, so close to line up right here, and he gets it. Hysterics just a little bit too slow to try and find the angle. He ends up lining up for Paula's crosshair and giving another kill over to Liquid. We're now even into a 3v3. And in terms of a health advantage, Team Liquid still has a slight advantage due to the 25 damage done to Jordan. Paula is going to get thrown back, though, with the destruction of the Goyo shield. but may still be able to swing back out and re-aggress onto the bathroom players over the next couple of seconds. Speaking of seconds, that's all the Giants have left to make this execute work for themselves. Just under 30 of them now. An attempt from Paula to follow up that push to destroy the default cam will not work out, but he will still be safe to hold the angle. Now, completely flashed out, however, a lot of damage going to try and go on to those guys, but Paula and Sexy Cake hold. Only Moringa falls. Just Jordan left alive from that exchange, and he's pretty far detached from the situation. There's an evil eye on his position if he tries to push back in. Paula, of course, holding the angle itself, giving intel. The plant going in, but no, the impact from long range on Paula takes out Jordan and sets up round number 2 for TL.
Great utility use there from Liquid, and they did a pretty bang-up job just waiting for the Giants to actually make a move. Again, they're getting themselves set up to initially take control of the map, but they're really not doing anything with it. They're getting some setup downstairs, but the main issue is that they're burning utility when they're not going to do anything. We had Asterix use both of his logic bombs to have nothing happen. Really, the only thing that happened was Liquid walked into lines of sight that Giants were already holding. That was really it. There was never forcing the defense to make a mistake, and that's something that Giants is doing a very poor job of right now. It's a whole lot of standing around, and Liquid is giving them nothing.
So Team Liquid now with a solid lead being established and already proving that they're able to bring themselves back from a disadvantaged situation. Giants gonna have to think quickly about how to renegotiate their own strategy so as to fit against what is happening right now with Team Liquid being able to shut them down. Team Liquid, in the meantime, finally going to have to shift over to what may be a more uncomfortable site for them. LATAM, however, was the first region to start extending out the sites on this map away from those first two. Teams would often just default to this one, but the playstyle wasn't really perfected until about half a year ago or so when we started to see Latin American teams play these more confidently, sometimes even as a first pick. So if any team's going to know how to play downstairs, it's going to be Liquid.
This site is just a weird one. It takes a lot of prowess to be able to pull off some very awkward reinforcement, and it's almost more awkward to attack, to be completely honest with you. But this is going to be the best chance that Giants have. There's a drone watching Valkyrie, Nesk on the run out, so they're going to be prepared for him once he goes for this. First one off the camera is going to be Ysera as he's making his way towards that door.
All quiet on the outside, nothing crazy being attempted here so far from Team Liquid, but we do have the possibility of that to come in from Nesk. Plays onto the Valkyrie. Sarah, I think, is very much aware of what's going on here, though. Spots the Valk cam, knocks it out from the plane. That'll kill that potential run out from Nesk.
Giants gaming again. Early drone clear here to see where these roamers are from Liquid. But the issue is now is that Liquid is once again spread very thin across the entire map. So trying to get inside to find any info is going to be difficult, especially with PSK on the mute jammer. More than likely only going to be able to isolate one member at a time. So Giants is going to have to pick and choose what the best means of attack are. Right now they have most of top control as Nesk has made sure to vacate the premises. He was last seen downstairs in laundry, but could always assume there would be a nitro cell. Only halfway through the round now, though, is once again, Liquid is chilling inside a site. Don't have too much to worry about. Nesk going for the run out now. I'm going to assume he's right next to the door. Punches the bucket right next to laundry so he can get a tighter angle. Tuck in just a little bit farther so he's not exposed. Did he not see the man next to the table? He did not. Nesk did not see the man next to the table outside, but Paula will as he hops out of bike.
That's going to be a bit confused about what just transpired there, but ultimately Jordan does set up a position for himself to trade that back when Paula finally falls back through the artifact room. Even trade brings it down into a 4v4 with only a minute left here. Team Liquid still with great control across the map. Giants, you need to speed the pace up a little bit. Thankfully, they don't need to pressure it too much. This is a pretty open-ended site and one that does not give a lot of great spots to the defenders to actively hold the site from. So if Giants are forced to press at the end of the day, it may not be the end of the world as it often is for other attacks on this map. Oh, that's just free right there for Nesk. Asterix doesn't even have his gun out.
Well, they are inside of North America. This is as free as it can possibly get, my friend.
Sarah, in the meanwhile, also still hunting for something to give them the advantage they need to press into the site. But once again, it's looking like they are just going to have to brute force it here and go for the best execute they can piece together with the remaining time. 25 seconds left. Still no sign of it coming in here. And quite a few members from Team Liquid hiding in the wings, waiting for Giants to strike.
Liquid is doing a fantastic job of shutting down the Giants' offenses. They know that they're going to be moving very slow, but they always strike. And when they strike, they hit hard. Nest takes down yet another. Speakeasy getting chewed up by some toxic gas. He gets one more for his pleasure, but Liquid again to shut down the Giants. That's 3 rounds in a row.
Liquid looking good, completing a full site triangle without dropping a single round along the way. Now going to be able to rotate all the way back.
5 rounds in a row between all of them. And
Hi, Parker.
Just for a second as the smoke disappears.
I don't know if you can see that too.
I really hope they don't. Okay, all right, we got it fixed. Okay. The man's haunting my dreams now, like.
It's just invading our cast, isn't it?
Well, Giants are going to get attacked.
Our new analyst segment, actually.
Yeah, this is our new analyst segment. We throw it to Parker just talking about
Throw it to Parker
things.
on the other street.
Yeah. No, but this is a perfect time to call the timeout for the Giants. Halfway through their offensive half here, and they look flustered, and they have every single right to be. I really feel like they just need to keep things simple. They're trying to take over the entire map instead of just focusing on the main areas that they need, and it's coming back to bite them because Liquid's just allowing them to sit and spin on the timer. They don't care what they do as long as they're not getting aggressive towards site. Every once in a while, Nest just hits a nice drive-by, maybe kills a guy, maybe doesn't, maybe even just pokes one and runs away. And then they sit there and wait for 40 seconds to see what Nest's going to do. It's such a methodical way of playing your defenses, but Giants has fallen right into the trap.
And as a result of that, Liquid has been able to run the gauntlet now and set themselves up with a very, very comfortable lead after we conclude the first quarter of this map's regulation timer. Aviator and Games is going to be, well, the obvious spot that we would see Team Liquid go towards next. They're certainly not going to go to the second downstairs site and the fourth and final site available to them. They'll rotate back over to the more standard sites we expect these teams to go towards. There's going to be a 6 pick because, well, they kind of have to. They're on Lunar, as we did have the Cali pick, so that's yeah, that's not going to be valid. They have to switch that out.
Very exciting game so far between these two. Giants not shifting up the lineup though. They've stuck to this almost the entire time here between themselves and Liquid on this map. The only thing that they've dropped is the IQ on Ysera. Appears. Well, actually, no, he's picked up the Dokkaebi instead of Hysterics, which has moved over to the Ash. So we might be getting a little bit more aggressive here, Blue. That's really how this is feeling. Pick up the Dokkaebi, keep her, and then grab a little bit more fragging power. Lunar, Speakeasy, Hysterics, all on mainstay fragging ops.
A couple of operators switched around too. Before it was usually Hysterics that's been on the Dokkaebi previously with the Boss G, so Ysera has now taken it over and switched up the operator play just a little bit there, so a few role swaps coming in for Giants. I think they may be shifting into what you were talking about before. There's going to be a much more singular focus on the sites themselves and not as much trying to spread out and deal with the Liquid players one by one.
It would help them out so much. When they keep things simple, they're so good. Like, even that take that didn't end up working out at the end because Liquid was able to fight away from Vase. If they kill Neska there, they have all of site control and they're able to plant. That was the only thing that went wrong. But when they move fast like they are now, John, things can get very dangerous. Look at how quickly they're moving with this information. This is what you want to see from Giants if you're a fan of the APAC region. Get aggressive. You know where these default areas Liquid are going to be playing are. They haven't been playing anything that's just inside of their strat book. This is mostly defaults that we've seen thus far. Hysterics is going to start us off with a great kill on Ash. That's Sexy Cake. That's going to be the Liquid. That's going to be the Liquid member downstairs playing Vigil.
So first roam presence from Liquid is taken out, and there's quite a bit more of it too. So Liquid will more than likely have to give the call out to pull these players back. Thankfully, it's looking like they've already done that as they've got 4 players in or very close to the site within rotate distance. Not necessarily a safe rotation though, as it's looking like a few of those players might be caught out on top stairs. Yeah, Paula specifically is in a bit of a bad spot if he ends up getting caught out by main stairs here. Ysera rotating back down, does not go in through the window, and instead is going to try to push the front door. Ysera a little bit timid on it though, expects Paula to be holding that angle, and that is not truly the case. So Paula's just passive presence here continues to hold back and delay time for Giants once again.
Well, Giants having that early pick means a lot. Issue is that they've slowed down quite a bit. Drone play working well. Jordan's already used all of his air jabs. It's a good thing to notate. Means that those are down and more than likely holding the rotation routes so that Liquid cannot flank. Do still have control of the top of main stairs though with the Zella.
bomb
Time
located by
getting very
attackers.
low here now for the Giants. We are going to see them start to commit a little bit closer to the push as they get just so low on the time here for Giants. A nice find from Paula as his position at the top of the main stairs finally bears fruit, and he's able to pick up one for himself. They've got a C4 ready to chuck in if the push comes up following this smoke chuck. At the moment, not seeing it. In fact, Paula is going to get tripped up by one of the air jabs. No one to follow it up, though. There's no position here from Giants. Finally, they'll start to move themselves forward. Hysterics with the first pickup for himself. PSK to trade that back out, though. Now the Nitro Cell is in. It's far too far away from anyone to be able to pick up a kill on it, though. There is a lineup from Ness, but he can't see it. And now the push in through the smoke from Lunar. Moringa's able to trade that out just a second later. We're still even locked into a 2v2. The plant is going down behind the map table in the meantime, and I don't even think Liquid realize it. In the meanwhile, Liquid going to try to take out the player that completes the plant. They get that job done. Now only one remains. It's Hysterics trying to hold from off-site on the inside of Study in the 1v2. Not sure if they know the full details on the position just yet, but now they certainly do with the face check. He's even going to swing around the corner, and Moringa from the ground like a worm knocks out Hysterics with the shotty.
Look how much closer that round was, though.
Disabled by defenders.
When Giants does what Giants is good at, they perform. They even get it down to the 1 versus 2. That was winnable. Just a very lucky shot hit fire from that M590 from that prone position, just like you were talking about. Giants just needs to stick to what they're good at. They're playing too much into the hand of Liquid, and the more they diverge from that, the better off they are. I know that the score is very crappy for them. I get it. They're down 4 rounds. You already used your tactical timeout. This is such a hard thing. But again, it is Villa. It's mostly defender-sided. If you're able to get these last 2 rounds, you still got a dog in the fight. But you got to get the dog first.
Gotta get him out of the fight more than anything right now. But yeah, for the folks here on Giants, there's been a slow amount of progress being made, as you've been mentioning here, especially off that last round with the sudden switch with the strategy to finally commit to going for the site itself and not dealing with the roaming presence, mainly because it's not a huge threat to them in a lot of ways. So.
What did I say at the beginning of the game, Blue?
What?
Full send or no send?
Yeah. They go full send into the site.
They finally full sent it, and it almost worked. I almost looked like a messiah of Siege for a second. I really did.
This is the real problem for Giants, unfortunately, is because they're not winning, they're not able to get any immediate re-attempts on any of these sites. The things they may learn from the first attempt aren't going to become relevant until 2 to 3 rounds later, unfortunately, at least with regards to things they need to execute upon on that specific site. Still, though, there's some overarching things that they can take between it, and once again, this is a site where they can leverage that. Commit to the full push. Let's see a much more standard take control of going from master bedroom, maybe having a little bit of control, working up those Astro stairs. I think we see a lot more teams try to do. Do not waste the entirety of the round and leave yourselves with not enough time to even regroup and push, as has often been the case for at least 2 to 3 of these rounds.
I want to see where these Goyo shields have been placed. I saw him placed down 1, but it does appear that just from the set pace at the very beginning of the round, Giants want to move fast once again. Diffuser in hand for Ysera. Still bringing that Dokkaebi, so look to see how they use those logic bombs.
Lunar up on the balcony first for himself here. A bit more drone work to be done by not only himself but the rest of the team. It's early days in the round, with only about 30 seconds having gone by on the overall clock. So absolutely 0 risk to any of these teams at this point, especially for Giants. They can take things nice and easily. One player's position is going to be exposed at the edge of the red hole leading over towards Astro's stairs. That's going to be Paula droned out. However, he can still play into that position and fall back a little bit later on. Hysterics the first to move into the main hall, pushing himself further into the first floor, and hopefully trying to eliminate Paula. The second player, I think, yet to be discovered, however, on Liquid. Phone call going to go out. If he's close enough, that may give him the intel he needs. And in the meanwhile, on self-destruction coming out, some of that from Next's POV. They're going to be caught, though. No damage on either team.
Well, Giants appearing to go back to their old ways of how they've been playing so far on Villa, opening up a lot of windows. Again, it's a lot of movement, but not very much progress, and that's the issue. They are currently attacking at Trophy Statuary. Have a decent amount of pressure downstairs. Speak Easy gets the first kill on the round. That's going to be Ness, gets a mute, so not too big of a deal. His mute jammers will be able to stay alive, but obviously that Nitro Cell no longer able to be used, practically because a corpse cannot throw Nitro Cells. Throw bodies. Well, they can't throw bodies either, but you know.
The Nitro Cell can throw bombs, though. So.
It definitely can. It definitely can.
What?
Sexy Cake's also going to get a team kill. This is not working out too well into their favor, especially after that kill on the Looter. They were equalized for just a second, but immediately gets ripped away from them after Sexy Cake turns turncoat. PSK actually gets one onto Hysterics. Marenga's been downed after he has a tussle through Deer Window and still outside as well. So a 2v3 for the time being, but no, it's going to be a nice rotate from PSK that takes out one inside of benches. Sexy Cake letting the Aldous sing. It's down to a 2 versus 1. Jordan trapped inside of Astronomy. No diffuser in hand from what it seems like. Doesn't have any sight presence. He gets one, but immediately traded by PSK, and that's a triple for him on the round.
Getting that all to doing a bit of work towards the end, but it is the Ella once more that picks up the trade. Oh, nearly missing it as well. Gave the Nomad the time to actually rotate on the appropriate angle, but just a little bit too low HP in that direct 1v1. So the Ella takes the ultimate advantage. Liquid remains flawless on their defensive half so far, and they're going to try Living Room and Library for the second time now, as they've entered the last round of their defense. They could very easily be looking at a 7-0 if Giants don't pick it up right here, right now. If it's 6-0, yeah, they might get 1 or 2 rounds, but it's not really even going to matter until they're at least halfway back on the scoreboard.
I don't even know what to say about Giants anymore. That's the rough thing, is that they're staring down elimination, obviously, if 2 more rounds get taken by Liquid.
They can't give up.
That's the thing. You can't give up, but they've tried the adjustments as they think personally will work, and they haven't. The issue is now, though, is they're going back to a site that isn't the easiest site to hold down, but Liquid made it seem like it was the easiest thing in the world that the Giants were last year. There's a lot of those drive-by type plays by Nesk. Giants Gaming really had no way to answer that. They got all of the top control that they could possibly gather and did literally 0 with it. There was not a single member of Giants that actually stepped foot inside of sight.
Well, for Giants, they're now up against the wall in more ways than one. 2 hearts left on their HP bar before they're out of lives and sent home. Only one of our first teams to be eliminated here from SI, going out with the initial 4. We've already decided the other 3 teams earlier on today from the other 3 groups. It's just here in what I believe is Group C. Is still yet to be decided. And after that, we'll have most of our decider matchups set up as well, and at a minimum, have the survivors of the lower bracket ready to face off against the losers from the upper matches that took place over on the Alpha stream today.
Well, this is either going to be a very long-winded villa, or it's going to be over within the next 10 minutes. Let's find out which one it will rather be. Giants once again gating top access, working a little bit faster than they did before, so definitely seeing that Liquid is in the same boat as they were last. Downstairs inside of that living room area.
It's got to be frustrating for Jordan.
Yeah, definitely got to be frustrating, because if he kills Nesk, that's huge.
Had him right to the back as well.
Yeah, Nesk isn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard, but he's 4-4-4, so you can definitely tell that he's been doing things.
This has been like a massive team effort, to be completely honest, for Team Liquid. We had the scores up. If we could actually get the extended view just for another 10 seconds or so. If you look at the overall kill-death ratio for everybody on Liquid, it's relatively even. Like, we don't have a situation where you had Nesk and PSK just leading the charge by a huge margin like it was on map number 1. Everybody's pulling their weight here right now.
You know, Paul was 7-6-4, but now he's 7-6-5 because he goes for a rotate, gets killed. Giants looking a lot better the second time around on this site, and they have control of the areas that they need now with plenty of time. That's the difference. Giants was a very slow-moving beast the last time. They were able to pick up a lot of kills, but they didn't really do much for them throughout the entire round. Now they have map control, a pick, vertical pressure into the actual site. What is there not to like about this take?
Giants maybe seeming like they will have finally woken up on this attacking half. Yes, it would only give them potentially 1 round if it leads to a success, but 1 round is all that's needed to kind of re-spark the flame for them. And hopefully allow them to wake up, as they'll have access to those very easy to defend sites as they move over into the second half here right after this round. Ness gonna be the next to fall as Speakeasy finds his second on the round, taking down one of the critical players from Team Liquid, at least one that's been critical in the past. Now leaving PSK, Marenga, and Sexy Cake to defend this. Few of them on site, but still a lot more looking to hold against the common angles that we would see Giants push in order to take control.
Oh, Giants, you're right there. You just got to walk into sight. You just got to want it. PSK And Red Stairs as well. He finds his first target. It's IQ, but he's full stun now. Ysera trying to make moves in order to kill him, but PSK can just rotate away. Only 23 seconds as PSK chooses to do the dash instead. Sexy Kate gets ripped from Hysterics. Maranga gets 2 with the TCSG-12, but he ends up getting killed by Hysterics. PSK in a mad dash to try and stop this man from putting the diffuser down. It's in a 1 versus 3 now. They just pick up the diffuser, so now they can plant. PSK motioning over towards the B door. He's got the first gunfight, but Giants instead get their first round on offense, but it's probably going to be too little, too late.
5-1 is the overall halftime score. Yes, it's only a small gesture for Giants, but now it needs to continue. They cannot lose this spark that they finally found for themselves. Otherwise, Liquid has a very clear-cut path to well, first of all, survival, and then moving forward into the final group match to maybe, just maybe, make it out in tomorrow's final game for the group stage.
Well, Trophy Statuary with a Mute Mozzie combo plus Vigil. That's the maximum amount of info denial you can possibly have, unless you just want to start running around and hunting down drones, but that's usually Mozzie's job with that pest launcher. 6 pick for Lunar, so we're not going to have that full lineup. We're still going to keep the Mute and the Mozzie, but shift the Vigil out for a Pulse.
Into the round we will go, and as you guys might expect, it is going to be Trophy Statuary. Well, actually, you might not expect that. Trophy Statuary. I just kind of read that in the back of my mind. Thought we had ourselves the usual aviation start, but it's not too uncommon for teams to go for this site first. Just basically more of a comfort pick. They're pretty evenly regarded in terms of ease of defense amongst the large majority of the community. So, from that operator perspective, everything else can be pretty much straightforward. Lunar is the one you definitely want to pay attention to as we get towards the mid-round, as that pulse will become incredibly crucial, especially if he goes unnoticed, which is more than likely not going to happen. But if that should be the case and we see Liquid try to prioritize a push through the Astro stairs, or even just that normal pathing through master bedroom, master bathroom, if he is able to hold a position in kitchen, that's so much information. And of course, the potential for that Nitro cell to come out from Giants that could really change the game of the round to round in just a few seconds.
That's all on Nesk, though. That's Nesk's job with that IQ scanner, is to find Pulse. He's going to play downstairs. You know that more than likely they're going to have somebody play downstairs, because when you go for that wall, you need someone to try and prevent that on the defense. They don't have any hard destruction, though, so they're obviously not going to be going for the master take. They'll have to go through other means, and right now, with their current lineup, that means might be south to north. Just try and find the area with the most doors and try and flood it. That's really their only option. The issue is with that, though, is that the way that Giants have the site set up, they really can't split the wall that sits in between benches and a deer, which is that room on the opposite side. So they're going to have to just funnel in and hope for the best, really.
About a minute gone from the round already. And Team Liquid is starting to move in towards Study to go for that south and north clear that you were talking about before. Only just a few players having done that, however. A few more are going to be repositioning to take control elsewhere. Paula starts us off well, however, for Team Liquid on the inside of games, as he's able to find himself an opening kill against the Mozzie to eliminate him.
That's a big pick, as Mozzie cannot control the drones anymore and assist his teammates. Going to find a little bit more utility. Nesk playing this to a T right now with the IQ scanner. Good info for Liquid. Now they have control of 90 as they continue to pressure down onto site, turning out the bottom level as well. Air jab set up by Paula on Red Stairs. Liquid making great progress. Giants not trying to rear their face just yet.
Already at the precipice of the site push, however, Nesk is going to be able to move in and actually gets a pretty good position on the drone. We do not see that Evil Eye being actively manned, at least not on the initial push comes in, so Nesk is going to be able to get quite a bit of info and see that, well, that site is clear, as you might expect. Also going to be able to utilize quite a bit of intel on the inside of Trophy, too, to figure out how exactly the setup is positioned for Giants. In the meantime, we did see Lunar finally chuck out his Nitro Cell. It does not seem like the connection was made, though. Well off the mark there against Nesk, as you can see the hole in the ground that he just peered through. Does not find the kill. Thankfully, at this point, though, Lunar does not lose his life for attempting to do that. Is still going to be able to fall back, rotate, I believe, through Astro Stairs and help out with a late round play.
The main issue for Liquid now is that they are starved for information. I know the drones tell you that only a minimal amount of them are dead, but it is a little bit more dire than you thought. Concussions pour in through the astronomy window, so they definitely know that there is still someone playing there. Sexy Cake goes to stick the plant. Nitro still comes out from Lunar, though. That's huge. Sexy Cake and Nesk both die. Moringa works his way in. They have to get to this diffuser right now. PSK, plain deer window. They need all hands on deck, though. Somebody needs to pick this up. Who has the diffuser? Somebody grabbed it. It's Paula as he starts to stick that plant, smoking off all of the angles, but he's playing close, and Jordan gets them both. He doesn't even die to the fire either. It was so very close, but he found some safety near the door. Giants stave off elimination.
Critical error from the Capitao in assuming that his opponent was much further away, was not ready for such a quick wrap to come back in, and with his death, that's the end of it for the Giants right there. An easy kill onto the planter, and no time left for the third player way over a trophy to rotate and try and trade that back. Giants keep themselves going with the second round, the first, of course, for their defensive side, now putting them 3 more away from tying this up against Team Liquid.
If you're a fan of the Giants, this is where you want to see them make their run. This is where it's so very important because you have one chance to make an error. Liquid is not to that match point just yet. They need 1 round to get their 2 rounds to win and make this a 2-0 victory for them. So the Giants need to run up that round meter as much as they possibly can, try and link together as many rounds before Liquid wins one of those offenses. That last one being especially close, but hey, breathe easy. You won the round. Just keep the ball moving.
Into Aviation Games now that they have managed to win over towards Trophy, and we are going to see a special use case operator brought out here as Ysera will bring in the Clash this time to block out one of the angles. Often seeing this played in 90, but there's quite a few other places where Clash can block out multiple angles for the attackers to utilize as well. And depending on how long she can stay alive, just completely restrict them for the entire round potentially.
Attackers must locate.
Nothing too crazy here from the Giants actually on this setup. They are playing a Clash across inside of Statuary with the Mute, it looks like. Yep, Ysera going to be on the Clash and Mute being Speakeasy, so trying to deny any access northern side of this map. Very nice run across there from PSK.
Parkour.
Hardcore.
Didn't even look like he jumped.
At least he didn't fall in a trash can. That's good. You're going to meme, you got to do it right, huh?
Nice indeed, yeah. All right, well, massive stack from Team Liquid. They're not going to waste any time with trying to move in and get at least a little bit of map control for themselves upstairs here as they're already setting up players to take control of both Master and Walk-In. We've got the cross angle established over there towards the connecting doorway that leads itself over into the inside of Trophy. Trying to block that off for a couple seconds to buy some room for teammates to jump in. Sides of this Nesk once again. Searching for gadget work that's being done across these sites. Is going to be able to just detect the normal stuff. Nothing crazy poking out for him to try and knock out here as the setup. Again, it's not too gadget heavy right now for Giants, and where it is, it's going to be much, much closer to the site anyway.
For Liquid, they're looking for these initial picks, but Giants aren't giving them any. They've already backed up their 2 members that they had across to the northern side of the map. They're back safe and sound inside of sight. Liquid currently has their sights fixated on 90, which Jordan is playing extremely passively. He's actually all the way over by the bar door right now. Lunar getting plenty of information inside of Gun Vault, which could be of huge assistance for this squad. Paula sets up a flank air jab, as Liquid is really just reminiscing on how to try and go about this. Big problems right now, so Sexy Cake works his way up to the door finally, but with Ysera there, they're not going to get anywhere too quickly.
So we're going to get burnt out a little bit from his initial position. This does buy room for Liquid to start aggressing to the inside. It's still a bit too early for that, though. Another nade going to roll its way in. Way too far away from Ysera, though, and more than likely was meant to deal with the Goyo shield anyway. So that will be eliminated. The Evil Eye, however, still intact on top of the couch. So that will continue to be an issue if they want to plant on the inside of this room, most notably if they don't want to plant behind that map table. Sexy Cake once again droning things back out here just to check and make sure that PSK is going to be able to move in and that they can potentially set up this pinch for themselves.
Speakeasy will take care of that, but as an SMG-11 at range, it's a pretty difficult gun to be able to control recoil-wise at that range. Ysera gets down by a firebolt. Now they have access. Sexy Cake goes for the plant. Very last second here. PSK making sure that nobody can rotate through study. Everyone's locked down inside of games. They're going to have to try and fight for 90 90 control now. Nitrocell way too late to try and do anything. Nest gets the first kill going into this post plant. Everyone's getting put it through the grinder inside of 90. Lunar trying to fight for fire inside of Plains. Speakeasy currently at 90. Moringa dances back and forth. But no, it's going to be PSK first to take down Lunar. It's down to only Speakeasy, who hops a window inside of 90 and tries to flank up red.
Speakeasy with just over 10 seconds now to try and kill 4 players and start the defusal process. Runs himself into that air jab though, so the clutch attempt is dead before it even starts, unfortunately for him. Nesk does the final deed of picking up the last kill, and that sets Liquid up on map and match point, also elimination point for Giants.
Also keep in mind, the reason that these rounds are going the way that they are for the offense is because of that Jaeger ban. They don't have to worry about any throwables getting eaten alive, so they're able to just stun dump, throw frags, do whatever they want possibly inside of sight, especially with the Capitao. Obviously, there's nothing to counter Capitao just yet. Wamai has not hit competitive. He's still got a little bit of time to cook. So for the Jaeger, though, that ban has actually been quite impactful overall. I like the Clash pickup that Giants had, and I definitely think that they should be running it again, and they're not going to 6-pick anything here as they go back to Aviator games. The real only issue that they had was that Team Liquid had plenty of time to go for that setup. Again, it required very minimal space. They had control of 90, they had control of Bust, and all they needed was someone to make sure that nobody could possibly swing the door for Study. They could get a diffuser down. Liquid continues to do a lot with a little. It's one of those things when they do play slow that they play it right, and I think that's why they stick to this game plan instead of always going at that faster pace.
Giants, I believe, are going to try to figure out a way to hopefully play into 90 this round. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to be really hard to do that without a Jaeger, so you can very easily just flash that player out and restrict them, especially if you take the pinch from both sides. But if they can hold that, first of all, it's going to be much more difficult to accurately, or well, easily, I should say, knock out the Clash if the Clash is going to play into the same position and hopefully waste that extra time that Giants need to force Liquid into a haphazard execute where they will make crucial mistakes, and Giants can easily shut it down just due to a lack of time primarily.
Well, Liquid needs one more round in order to knock Giants completely out of the Six Invitational 2020, maintain their life. They got knocked down into the lower bracket yesterday, not by Ninjas in Pajamas. Gonna have to go back to face their Ninjas in Pajamas or MIBR tomorrow. For now, though, it's going to be another north to south clear. Looks like they're going to go about things the exact same way, but knowing Liquid, it's probably going to be just a touch faster because they know exactly what they need to do now. This definitely could work twice unless Giants makes that adjustment that John was talking about, trying to play 90 or getting a flank off a little bit earlier. That's really the only way to beat out these air jabs. They're very difficult once they're set. Unless you obviously like have an impact grenade or something along those lines, you can kind of find out where it is with your audio cues and then impact it. But even then, you still make a very loud noise. They know you're coming. So you have to get aggressive early on before these air jabs get set up. Otherwise, your flanks aren't going to work out the way you want them to.
The pulse still being present here as well for Giants as Lunar has played that once again, but Lunar much closer to the site this time. In fact, I don't even think he was downstairs the last time I checked his position. Was playing in the site, waiting with the rest of these guys, so going to try to utilize that info from a side perspective. Yeah, he's playing a gun vault instead of trying to work it from the bottom to the top as it has been in previous rounds. No 90 control really for the Giants at this point, however, just don't even attempt it. So once more, Liquid's going to walk right in. However, Speakeasy is still allowed to swing out from the site. PSK makes the mistake of taking the duel in that instance. The first kill goes over to Giants as they bring it down to a 5v4.
Still a few members of Liquid on the master balcony, though. With only a minute remaining, they don't have as many operators as they did the last time. PSK was the man who held the window for Study in order for that plant to go off. That's a very important piece to the puzzle. So hopefully they can find some other means of getting into sight. Otherwise, Giants is going to continue to stay alive. Team Liquid wants to shut things down here. They don't even want to grant the opportunity for Giants to come back. Still a lot of drone work to be had, though, for Liquid. This is something that we've seen from them throughout this entire tournament. They love having the maximum amount of information at all all times. Full stunning himself, though, is Paula as he goes to challenge the top of main stairs. Pre-fires the top of the shield, but nothing too much happens from it. He has to maintain control of Study. He's actually shifted his way up close to the door. Pre-fires in, but knows that the guy should be coming for him from the top of the stairs. Lunar and Hysterics, though, on the other end of the site, take down 2. Paula and Ness, the only 2 that remain. Ness gets 1. A quick flick for Paula as they fight back and forth. Is down to a 2v3 with only 4 seconds remaining, but the Clash doing her absolute best to slow down this take. Sticks the defusal, but he doesn't have any bullets. Should be a quick swing. He can't get anything. Ysera and Lunar keep Giants alive.
Just overwhelming force really at the end there. The Clash getting right up into the face of the last real attacker that was going to be able to do anything in that situation. Ysera, of course, gets the final kill as he takes out the planter himself and sets up yet another round for Giants here as they continue to hold on just barely now without any mistakes being able to be made here. They'll take the win there. Thankfully, it's been 2 rounds since their victory that they had at the beginning of this half on Trophy, so they can just rotate right back over there, where once again, a victory may be waiting for them. That would put them only 2 more rounds away from an OT.
Giants did a very good job of having adjustments there to handle what they knew Liquid was coming with. Liquid did the exact same thing that they did the last time. Got 90 control, try and rotate someone to Study. The only issue is that they didn't maintain all 5 this time like they did the last time, where they were able to try and flood just for a little bit, maintain that 90 control at the same time, and have someone watching red. This time they only had 4, so they had to move the air jabbed of Nomad as well as everyone else over to Study, where we saw, I believe, Paula the last time. They did an operator shift here. We'll make sure to check that for you guys. But anyways, they shifted Nomad over towards Study. Even though still had some good shots, we're not able to get that diffuser down. And I really do feel like it was just because of that setup. They really needed all 5 to maintain.
And as a result of the early loss, player Liquid just aren't able to negotiate the control that they've truly needed in order to get themselves onto the site in the late round. Prep phase is going to be finishing up here in just a second. Liquid will work their way out and once again reattempt to take control of Trophy and Statue. They failed at this the first time. Now number 2 could very well end the match and send Giants home packing.
So we've shifted things around a little bit for the Liquid lineup. Sexy Cake has taken Nomad. Paula has taken the Sledgehammer of Sledge. But Moringa dropping the Capitao, picking up the Dokkaebi. Well, PSK not having the best hardcore parkour this time. Falls off the roof, sets a Claymore for a window. Nesk and the rest of the squad, though, for Liquid, working their way towards the south side of the map. Still have Study to worry about and a few roamers. Looking at Ness to try and get rid of some of this utility. Good drone work thus far, but again, this is a thing that does bite Liquid in the butt quite often, is that they spend a lot of time droning, but not a lot of time doing. As a lot of us know, information has a very quick expiry date in Rainbow Six Siege. It's about 5 to 10 seconds. So every single time you see them drone somebody out, yes, it's good, they have that information, but count to 10 and that information is now practically useless.
Paula will be able to play the shell game with the drones and spot the one that is the enemies. Thankfully, due to the light coloring, if you're curious on how they determine that, it's going to be orange for the attackers and blue for the defenders.
Nesk dancing with Fate on the plane's door, all the way back to benches where Lunar and Speakeasy were exchanging words with him, but now they have full access to the south side of the map. Games as well as planes has been taken over. Not too much of a battery-operated defense here, as Ness can see. Sees a couple of defaults as well as, I believe, a pass through his scanner, but they're making a lot better time than they did the last time that they came to this site. Minute 13 seconds left on the clock. Mostly everything handled. Doesn't see anything crazy set up by the defense. All they have to worry about is that lesion really on the doors, and that's pretty easy to spot, especially when you have an IQ scanner.
But already inching closer and closer to that execute point, still with just under a minute to go as well. Plenty of time to set up for this execute. Drone presence has been established on the inside of that site. They've been able to isolate out a few players and find their positions from that, but not in the most amazing way. The most important one is being found here, though, and also important to note is that Moringa still has both of the phone calls, which can be sent out by the Dokkaebi. They're now aware of the position of the pulse as well, and can look to avoid that to the best of their own capability. A nade ready to be chucked chucked in here as well, and it sinks Ysera. It takes him right out. Lunar is there, though, once again with that Aldo, ready to trade it out against Sexy Cake. Another player for Liquid is going to fall, as again, their execute is failing. Liquid are not finding the impact that they need, despite seemingly having the intel. However, look at this. Nesk is still allowed to attempt a plant.
What?
Paula holding off the rotate right now. Oh no, he might actually jump into a bad position, but no! Paula goes crazy and gets himself another kill. Nesk with the next pickup. I don't know how they've done it, but Liquid turn this round back on its heels and close out on the match, sending the Giants home and sending Liquid onwards to the final group match.
That is such a Liquid round, it hurts. It's actually insane what they're able to pull off in the last 15 seconds every single time. I mean, I assumed as soon as they droned out that pulse, Logic Bomb was coming in, Dokkaebi was going to get aggressive out front, Sears to try and handle that when he goes for the Nitro cell, and they get the plant down easy peasy inside of Statuary. And that is not at all how it was written down to actually go. Instead, we have to have Paula bail off of Red Stairs and get a triple kill. What is there even to say? I will tell you this, though. Giants, very creative in a lot of their strategies. I definitely enjoyed commentating these guys. It was so much fun.
Yeah, a lot of fun indeed, and some really, especially on the first map as well, and I think they were just a little bit more comfortable with their play style. Some really cool stuff. Not all of it worked, to be fair, but some really interesting theories about how they like to play the game, and I'm going to be curious to see if any teams will try to incorporate that in the future, or more importantly, if we get these guys back at an event, which I don't think will be much of an issue, what they're going to be able to innovate on in the future too. That, however, is the end of today's action and the end of our final match. Team Liquid survived the gauntlet for now, but they're not done just yet. There is still another match awaiting for them, and we'll be talking about that just a little bit. Overall, though, again, I think Liquid's starting to come together more and more as a team, as is often the story for some teams that come to LANs. A little bit shaky on the first day, getting themselves together, and slowly but surely improving that as they get more comfortable in the LAN environment itself.
Well, the winner's match of this group is getting played over on the mainstream, so we don't exactly know who Liquid will be playing up against next.
Yeah.
Obviously, Giants getting removed, but overall, a great game between these two. Again, the thing to notate, Giants just playing a very unique style of Siege. I liked a lot of the stuff that they brought to the table. Impressive overall, but Liquid just being Liquid. Very slow, methodical, heavy on droning, and it just works for them. They continue to win these games, even though it's not sometimes in the most exciting fashion, but when it comes down to these last-second executes that they're able to pull off in miraculous ways, it's something truly incredible to watch.
The target ban that we had at the beginning of the match from Giants to knock out the Jaeger did actually seem to affect Ness quite heavily as well. We did not see him topping out that scoreboard as he had, but another player from Liquid was ready to step in and take his place. It was Paula who ended up topping out the scoreboard for the team with 14 frags at the end of it. The next highest teammates having about 9 to 8. Overall, though, still a very impressive performance from everybody on Team Liquid in that matchup. I called it out at one point, right around halftime, when we had relatively even frags, only a spread of about 2 to 3 max between the first and second players, and it was relatively evenly distributed going past that point as well. Beautiful performance from the entire team, and very promising for tomorrow's matchup, I would say.
Well, it's going to be a Brazilian matchup overall, so it should be extremely actiony. That's what we've grown to love about the LATAM region, is that they do some weird stuff that we don't get to see very often, just like APAC. And really, that's all to be said about these. So let's check out the brackets and see exactly what happened today, folks. This is for Group A, obviously not the group that we were just dealing with. That was C, so let's run you through the full day. Obviously, for today, Dark Zero took the win over Team Empire and went first out of their group in Group A, which I'm pretty sure no one thought was going to happen. So Team Empire plays Fnatic tomorrow to see if they can possibly finish second and make it out of groups.
NA massive.
NA massive.
It's happening.
Hashtag.
That'll close out Group A. Moving on to Group B, where once again, NA remains massive in this instance. SSG running through both of the opener matches, the first against Na'Vi, the second against Rogue, and eventually SSG would top out in spectacular fashion, especially from Canadian, against TSM in the winners match today to send SSG onwards into the beginning of the playoffs. In the meantime, Na'Vi was able to eliminate Rogue 2-0, sending them home and setting up their match against TSM in the decider tomorrow.
If you don't love Troy, there's just something wrong with you. That's all I'm saying. I'm using the worst gun and I'm killing you. That animal. Forget about that. Forget about that. Group C, though, that's the action that you just saw and exactly what's going on over on the other stream. Team Liquid is waiting for the loser of that winner's match between MIBR and Ninjas in Pajamas. Nip up one map right now. Giants eliminated from the tournament.
The current second map being played between those two teams is currently at 5-5, and we're going to send you guys there in just a second, so let us wrap up. Don't delay too much longer, and we'll have you in that match. Finally, though, to round things out with Group D, where we saw Reciprocity just barely fail to sneak by G2 Esports in their opening match, sending G2 onward. In the meanwhile, BDS made quick work of Wildcard to set up their winners match, where eventually G2 would claim victory with a successful Tachanka round and some other ridiculous things happening throughout that match. We'll have to watch that one back later, sending the current SI champions onto the playoffs once again. Meanwhile, Reciprocity was able to eliminate Wildcard in their elim match today, towards the beginning of today, and set them up to play BDS in the decider match tomorrow.
It's been a truly incredible day of Siege, Blue, but we still have a lot ahead of us. This is only day 2 out of 8, so still 6 days of Siege, almost a full week of Siege still to go. We'll be taking our break on Sunday after tomorrow's matchups, so make sure you're back here bright and early for those.
Let's take a look at the schedule that we have for you guys tomorrow, as there's still more action from the group stage, but the Bravo stream, unfortunately, will cease to exist tomorrow. We switch to a single stream and stay that way all the way through to the grand finals. We're going to start out with TSM against Navi in the morning, move on to BDS versus Reciprocity for our second match at 1 p.m. At 4 p.m. local time, Empire will take on Fnatic, and then finally, to round out the night, Group C will see its conclusion with Team Liquid taking on the winner of the current last active match over on the Alpha stream. It's going to be a fantastic day, folks. You do not want to miss a single moment of the action, so make sure you are tuned in over on our primary channel at twitch.tv/Rainbow6. Besides that, that's pretty much it for today. Stokes, any other remarks here? Close us out. Anything else you want to say to the folks at home?
Oh man, I'm happy. More than a turtleneck, it was a good day, I'd say overall. That's a bit out. That's about it. That's all for me. We held down B today pretty good, so high five on that. Lots of casting, lots of talking, lots of fun. But what else would you expect from this amazing game? We'll see you tomorrow, folks, over on the main stream. Remember, this will not be live tomorrow. It's all on twitch.tv/Rainbow6. We'll see you over there.